Hello, pull up a chair, join us in the alcove. Here with episode 19 of our homebrewed 5th edition D&D campaign, the Chaoslands.
Yay.
As always, before we start, we have a handful of quick announcements. Before we start, I really need to stop writing these scripts, very quickly. Yes. We go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and our WODs are uploaded to YouTube every Friday. We also do reruns on our Twitch channel every Thursday morning and Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Give us a follow down below to get a notification whenever we're about to go live. Also, while you're checking out the follow button, be sure to also follow us on all of our social media accounts, our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, for all of the latest news and schedule updates, as well as awesome character art, profiles, and other fun things and announcements. Big shout out to Syrinscape, because epic games need epic sound. Syrinscape is a digital tool with a collection of amazing sound sets and music that we use to improve the ambiance of our game and stream. If you're looking for a way to improve the immersion at your RPG table, go check them out at Syrinscape.com. That was really quick. Is there anything anyone else wants to say?
No.
No? Alright.
No.
Well, let's get started then. Previously on the Chaoslands.
I got it this time.
Nice.
We provide all our own sound effects.
Yeah.
Last week, the Iron Will, after defeating Galarin and the Silent Razors in the Spire Conduit in the Climatology building of Schema, attempted to recover the glowing purple metal shard located within the spire. The big one, grasping at it, became lost in a vision of sorts. A vision of a large, growing purple tree, a tall tower, and a familiar small pseudo-dragon. Gathering yourself and helping break him from the vision, you made your way back through the building towards the mining tunnel that you had used to traverse the ward in the first place. Along your way, however, you ran into yet another familiar face, the drow Druvenry, who had previously confronted you in Ward 7, seeking a note that you had intercepted that had been meant for her. Her demeanor was much changed this time, and instead of being as confrontational, she was simply looking for information, and provided you with a warning of the chaos that the rest of the ward was under had you chosen to leave by more public avenues.
Chaos among the lands.
Not as stabby this thing.
Yeah.
Avoiding the crowded streets,
Arkner's throat.
She did slice two guards' throats as well.
Yeah.
Moderately stabby.
Yeah.
Avoiding the crowded streets, you traversed through the tunnel, leaving Galarin's corpse for the spiders, and eventually arrived at Blacksmith Row, and the abandoned smithy, the Golden Anvil, which you had been granted as a workspace. Here, the big one finished reading through a book that he had on him, that illuminated both him and the rest of you on some of the history of Scheme, and the Aetherion, the device that powers the Magitech of the city. After learning of this history and the waning nature of its power, you fell into an uneasy sleep in the eerie quiet and pitch-black darkness of an unpowered Ward 3 cavern.
Oh shit.
Recovering from your long rest after the 8 hours of your tiny hut spell finishing,
Yep.
you realize immediately that it's a lot colder than it was when you had gone into the hut. And the temperature within is much more moderate of sorts. So with the hut, with the Liam's tiny hut spell waning and fading, it starts to feel a little bit colder, and as you come to, it's slightly uncomfortably chilly. Still dark.
Do elephants get cold?
Probably.
Your trunk's gonna shrivel up.
Oh no, it's no longer standing erect.
So, what would you like to do? The day is yours.
Nothing.
You would have all awoke. I would have been already up, sitting kind of in the middle of the room where the center of the dome would have been. So I would have just been reading, waiting for you all to
Playing the
wake up.
piano.
Playing the piano. And I moved it to the middle of the room. Woke you all up too.
What you reading?
Oh, I'm just reading the notes that I've written.
Yeah.
So the notebook that I always write in, you just see me further back in it, just kind of rereading stuff that I've written down.
You sound different.
Oh, were you asked? Oh, sorry. I thought that was like a joke. Yeah. Rewind.
It's too late. Your accent's forever changed.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh no, my real voice. I'm just rereading past days' notes, trying to remind myself of all the things we've seen. A lot has happened in the last week or so.
Does anything stand out?
I mean, there's a lot that stands out. But top of mind right now, I think I'm not sure what everyone wants to do with regards to why we originally came to this ward and our original goal of trying to build something that may help Ward 8. It seems like the rest of the wards now may be, or at least this ward specifically, is in maybe a similar fate. But I guess with the rain clouds, the others may start to suffer as well. The other thing that was on my mind, the individual that we met for a second time now, this time a little more friendly to a degree, invited us to, I believe, the Mushroom Lounge. Alchemy, if you remember or recall, the original reason why Drew came after us was for that letter that had people's names on it, and one of them was Lyra.
Correct.
And as far as we're aware, she works out of the Mushroom Lounge. So if we're told to go meet her there, I'm not sure what to expect when it comes to this Lyra.
I'm not sure either. I think we'll need to go there at some point to check on Lyra. Maybe to see what Drew should like with us, but there's part of me that hopes that keeping the list away from her has saved Lyra.
It's possible. I believe, just a DM question. When we first got to the ward, we had seen a sign that said Lyra's last show this day of the week, and it was not yet that day of the week.
It was not.
It
still is not yet the day of the
Okay,
week. Also,
okay.
things might have changed considering there's
Sure. God, yeah.
Wasn't I'm confusing sophistication and Mushroom Lounge. Have we been to the Mushroom Lounge
No.
yet? Okay, gotcha.
Give a cookie.
We're getting sustenance.
Anybody want a cookie?
Also, I'm not sure.
After.
I thought I'd just let the rest of you know while you were sleeping. Oh, some ASMR action going on here. While you are sleeping, Alistair decided to duck out.
What?
He left a note. It's over there. I don't know if he actually wrote one. I already said what it said. It says stay at Ward 3.
Let me see the note.
It's over there. You can go see it
Is there
and
actually
read it
a
out
note
loud what it
over
says.
there?
No. You can make it up on the spot if you want.
There's definitely a quick.
Here it is.
I believe he was eager to get back to his crew. So I think to spare the pleasantries of a formal goodbye, he wanted to head out.
It's about that time that you'd probably notice that I was going to get up early as well. And before I went to bed, I think we decided I'd write like this. But I would have been writing notes in my little workbook thing. And I would you'll probably see me already up and at one of the workbenches. I'm sure there's a few. With my bag out, all my tools and my stuff. And I'm going to try and create something out of my... what's the metal called? Electrosteel.
Yeah.
To hold this device.
You would probably have to be out back.
That's fine.
Because the front of the area where you guys were at was more of like a shop front.
Cool.
There's a stair that goes up to more like a living quarters, and then out back in the courtyard there's like a table with tools, like an anvil, like a forge set up. It's relatively out in the open, but it's fenced in. It's not next to like the cavern wall or anything, so.
Yeah, I drew a picture, but basically it's gonna just be like a flat sheet of metal, however it might be, and then some sort of like prongs that will just you can just place it on top.
Make a tinkering tools, yeah.
How does it work? Like, if I'm proficient, so it's just what?
You add your.
Can it?
I guess this would be with your intelligence because you're designing it.
Yeah.
And
I think I
plus
have
your
a
proficiency.
feat as an artificer that lets me use my int anyway. That's not great, but it's still gonna be okay. 16 total.
Yeah.
That's rolling a 7.
Yeah, you spend like a few hours kind of working on this and like making sure that it's stable, making sure it has enough support on either side.
Yeah.
It's nothing fancy. It's not.
No,
like,
it's not designed to be,
gyroscopic things.
No, it's just
preventing it
something
from
that's
falling, but
like-
it will hold it.
Just you can just place it on top, and I'm not obviously gonna just take my normal hand and place it on top. Like when it comes time to that, I'll probably put down my goggles. Well, I'm not sure if I'm finished just yet when they're starting to wake up, but get the gloves out.
Also,
Take
Big One
little
is
pliers.
out back working on something. I saw him get up a little before you guys.
What you guys yapping?
You guys.
Diamond scratches his bare butt cheek. That's all like a bit of a fart.
Nice.
Gets up. Oh, shite.
Are we still in the bubble?
Brings up.
It would have
No, the
dropped
bubble
right
would've
as you
faded.
were all waking
You
up.
felt
As you
cold.
farted.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. You just
That was the
Contained.
command.
What's the term?
Look at the group
Oh,
portrait
yeah,
that Alistair
hotboxing.
drew of all of us. He left it in his note. Look, he drew all of us. He did a group portrait.
Who?
Alistair. He left it for
She's just
us.
holding up a blank piece of paper.
to see that art, Jarrett.
Aww. And look, right here it says, y'all are as special as a blue grasshopper on a sunshiny day. Isn't that nice?
Wow.
What a guy.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think that's an insult.
He's always saying stuff like that.
It's her idea.
Oh, I feel so much better. I think I just needed to sleep in a little bit. I feel so energized. Haven't felt like this in like a week.
You're gonna start doing push-ups again?
You're looking a bit better than you were before. You look well rested.
I am. I think I'm going to do some push-ups.
You're still butt naked.
Yes.
The odd toot squeaks out.
Yeah. Just every push up.
No, not every push-up. Every rep. Yeah, I was going to spend some time doing his morning routine.
I also mentioned last night, I can probably send some messages to individuals we feel could be valuable to keep them in the loop of what's going on. I've thought of a few people, but I'm open to whatever everyone feels is right.
We should totally message Linda. We haven't heard from her in forever. To see what she's doing.
I'll let you take care of that. I have a very limited amount of power to do this kind of spell, so I will want to limit the scope of who I look to contact.
Ooh, remember that guy that I think it was Arkmir punched back at the soiree? Remember that one? You should message him and be like, how's your eye?
No,
We don't need to message Aragon.
but along the similar lines, it could be valuable to message Cassandra, and just to let her know. I mean, we kind of are on this path because of meeting with her. That's an option. It could be valuable to keep Harriet in the know as well, especially since she was called out by name by Galarin.
Whoa.
She may not know what's going on. I'm not sure if anyone else has ideas of who else, or really what we want to say. The degree of which I can communicate is pretty narrow, so there's only a finite amount of words that I can really send before I expel my energy, and we'll have to wait for another day.
I mean, I also have these little paper message things that the big one gave me.
Yes. And I'm not sure, other than, I mean, how much you can really fit on that paper, I'm not sure if there's a limit to how much you can write.
How big are they?
like 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
fairly big.
Alright, so they're pretty big. We can even draw
Small
something.
writing.
But no, these I will keep for now.
Calther, do you need to know the person before you can do what you need to do?
I believe I need to be familiar with them. Let me think for a moment.
You got a special lady back at home? You want to reach out to?
Yeah, I believe I need to be familiar with who they are.
How familiar? Would you be able to contact Lyra?
I mean, I'm not other than the name, I mean, I could always try. It might not make it. We know her name. I'm not sure if we know. I've never really tried this before. I'm sure it would work best with somebody that I have met.
My father too.
Also, yeah. I mean, there's
I'm
also
outside.
Yeah.
So I'm not hearing anything.
No, it's all your father's fault.
This voice just popped
that
in
a
my head
pigeon?
that suggested Sparkeye.
Yeah.
I hate pigeons.
I think the other thing too is especially me sending the message. I've never met Lyra. She's never met me. I think just popping into her head may be a bit of a startle.
I'm not exactly sure how this works.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's too dissimilar to what you all are capable of, where you kind of talk in my head. I think it's fairly similar to that. I've been kind of in my meditation, I've been thinking a lot about this and concentrating on how I may be able to do something similar. And maybe not quite to the degree that you can, but at the very least, I think I can send a small message to someone over a greater distance. And theoretically, anywhere.
Can they reply?
I'd like to think so. Again, I've never tried this. But again, I think the point that I'm really trying to hammer here is it's a really short connection. I can send a very brief message and I think they can reply to me with a very brief message and then the connection is severed.
Interesting.
I can't remember. I know I'm not there,
completely different
but
from me.
when Sparkeye did it, did I tell you guys? I can't remember.
When he what?
Is that something you'd probably just know? Like, I know I'm not there, but Sparkeye used this on us, and I asked him how to do it. He's like, something the artificers can do.
I think Linda used it.
Linda used it to my father, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was anybody else in the room when she
We
did
saw
that?
her
I
do
don't
that.
remember.
I think she
think
said that
so.
she could reach out to him.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were trying to.
You might know that like artificers are capable of.
Right.
We
If
were
you're not sure how it
worrying-
works, they might be able to. Send
Yeah.
one.
That was what it was. We were worrying about going to the ward where the Iron Cog are, because they're still holding Sparkeye.
Yeah.
And then Leonard was like, "Oh, I can reach out to Sparkeye."
He's home. Yeah.
Yeah, right, that's what it was. It's like
Yeah.
he's fine. He's fine.
Oh dear.
Yes?
These sending papers that I have.
Mhm.
Do you know if I need to know the person to send that or?
I mean, I'm not entirely sure how they're created. I think the only other time we used them, it was to you, who we were, I believe, right? That's.
I remember
we were-
waking up with a sheet of paper at the top
Yes,
of my
that
boat.
was Astra, I believe, sent that when we were in Ward 2. I think.
Yeah, telling you guys to meet us at Clanko's.
Yes. But I don't know. I don't know much about them right
you
now.
and Astra seem to know this kind of like magic stuff. Can you inspect it and see if you can figure it out?
I can take a look, though I may not. I'm not sure what I'll be able to discern, but I can take a look for you.
I think the properties when I bought them were discussed to us,
I think Clanko may have.
The
Yeah,
bird
talk-
thing?
which I also explained to you
I
guys.
just have the name and it says Clanko's conversing cards.
Yeah.
30 gold pieces each. 6 for 100.
I drew a picture of them. Does that help?
Ah.
I wrote
Picture
Clanko's
of a
store.
plate.
Great.
Shit.
How did you draw a picture of just a
Oh no,
piece of
here we go.
paper?
Here we go.
Yeah,
Don't worry
but
about
well,
Oh, okay.
Also, just so we're not adding random shit in, Calthier showed you the picture that we stole from the shop that says, don't stay in Ward 3 or whatever, and you're like, it's a picture of us. Just throw that out there. So
Alistair just drew us a picture. We're gonna keep it. It's not a picture of us in front of the Welcome to Ward 3 sign.
No. My question is, did you draw it as Astra, or are you making up that?
That was a joke. It was a joke.
What was a joke? I think Astra's serious.
I'm already drawing it in my notebook.
It was a joke. I don't know if Alistair actually left a note or not.
Because the note he pointed out said, stay out of Ward 3.
I think he was...
Oh no, that was also
That
a
was a
joke.
joke.
Because that was the note we found stabbed into
Either way, I don't think there was a note.
Every
there was
note
no-
is a joke.
As far as I know, there was no note.
Okay, that's
But
why I was like, did Astra draw this
if
herself?
Alistair or Jared is on board,
Okay,
then there
okay.
could be a note. It's
Okay.
not a...
This is the title of the episode.
There was no note.
There was no note.
Or there could be a note.
So I'm like, she's over there drawing it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure
Schrodinger's
there's
note.
not a picture.
There's... Screw you guys.
And you're just drawing a
Anyways,
penis.
That's your trunk.
Oh, okay. Told you. Strikingly similar.
So I think I'm trying to remember back to when what was his name? Alistair's friend who gave us the cards in the first place.
Oh,
Geraldo. Yeah, Geraldo. I believe he told us that you just needed the individual's name.
Yeah.
And you could, as long as you knew their name, you could send it, and theoretically it will.
You say that in character.
I'm speaking with the accent.
we don't know what your accent
Yeah,
is
you
anymore.
said two accents today.
I keep dropping my fake accent.
Who's Geraldo? I wasn't there.
We weren't there.
No, I know you weren't there. I'm just trying to remember if we ever talked about.
I think you briefly talked about sophistication, but that was just after the fire nearly killed us. So
Alistair briefly mentioned too.
Well, he told the story,
yeah.
which mentioned Geraldo. Geraldo is Alice's friend from like their group with what were the others? Butch and
Cletus?
Yeah, Cletus and Butch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, alright. So he said that all I need to know is the person's name.
That's what they told us.
They're part of
Alright.
Magnifico's
You have to know a creature's
menagerie.
name.
Menagerie.
You can write a message of 50 words or fewer.
Oh, there is a limit.
Thank you for letting me
In before
know.
time and sends 2 to Anya. I'll get a response.
I mean, if it finds its way.
Nate, off character, thanks for stealing my thunder.
That's what I was like. I know what time is thinking. If only I had a tracking ID from Canada Post.
Alright, so I can part with one of these. The other one,
I mean, they're yours. It was a gift to you. Feel free to use them however you wish.
no, if we need to send a message to someone.
I mean, what are people's thoughts right now of? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the city. I mean, big one we should probably involve in this discussion.
I don't know if I had too much spot browse before I went to bed, but I'm still confused. What are we doing with that purple metal-y thing? Like, your friend says that we need to protect it. Like the big one back there is, I don't know, doing whatever to it. And
He's obsessed.
Yeah.
He comes outside. I'm just like,
You're just still stunned again.
And I mean, to be honest, guys, is this our fight?
I don't know.
We did say we would try to help restore water in Ward 8. And
But-
now there's no chance of that.
But now, like, there's chaos brewing in this world, and are we supposed to take care of that too?
I mean, I don't think it can be expected that we just fix all of the city's problems. Part of that is for the people of the city to figure out themselves. But if there's certain things that we can do that people want to pursue that may put them on the right path, that may be something that we can explore. I think originally that started with seeing if there was a way to give some power or get rain to Ward 8. Damn. Oh, he must be making
I wonder if he needs help.
But with everything that's happened, Galarin sent a cloud to Ward 8. They'll be the last ward to get rain in who knows how long. And this is the ward that apparently powered that, and now it's gone.
I am just worried about us having that artifact. It feels like it's a bit too hot to handle, if you know what I mean. Big one was knocked out of, I don't know, his conscience when he was holding that. I got fucking beaten by that thing a couple times, and even wearing the damn gloves, it still like hit me.
Whatever it is, it appears to be quite powerful.
And
I'm just concerned if we're gonna hold on to it. Again, what is stopping someone like Galarin from pursuing the other shards that are potentially in the city? I think right now what's important is I think we'll need to relay this information to
but
this house
Galaran is
stuff.
sleeping with the spiders.
There may be more like
Doesn't
him.
stop someone else like him.
We also don't know if he was working alone. I mean, obviously he at least recruited the Silent Razors, but maybe he had accomplices at his level. Alistair spoke of this Midnight Corps from Rioviz. I mean, they are probably large in number.
I don't know. I'm not comfortable around that thing.
I definitely think we need to be careful with it, and whatever, I mean, I don't think it's for any one of us to decide necessarily what happens to it, but I think we just need to make sure that we try to make sure it doesn't end up in the wrong hands.
So what confuses me is, I guess Galarin he didn't look like he was trying to steal it. Looked like he was just blowing up the generator or whatever.
You're right.
We're calling it.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what it was. I think he just knew it powered
The city.
the city and the ward, or at least helped out the
climatology.
yes. So yeah, that's a good point. He may not have, nor anyone else that he was working with may understand any of it. I mean, we don't understand it, and it seems like even the history of the city is they've spent years trying to understand it and kind of fell flat on it. I don't know, they had a lot of failed experiments, still don't truly understand it, but yeah, I don't know.
While we're sitting around talking, Astra is going to telepathically speak to Hoku and just say, like, Hoku, what do you think is the right thing to do with the shard?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Continue your
He's
conversation.
thinking.
Yeah, Hoku's like,
He's just like,
yeah,
Oh,
one second.
It says in a thick Italian accent.
yeah.
It seems like Alistair left us a letter. If you want to read it.
Did it come with a portrait?
There's a picture, and it looks, no, I don't know.
Well, this is what.
That's a letter.
Actually, if one of you guys can read it, it's probably easier.
He's gonna do the accent.
You gotta do it in his
Oh
voice.
no.
Oh, did he send it to the group?
Yeah. Oh, Mike's like, I was
Oh,
waiting
I
for
don't
this.
do it now.
Okay, I'll do it. It's fine.
Dear crew.
Dear crew, I can't thank you all enough for helping me take care of some demons. I could never have asked you to sacrifice yourselves like that, but I thank the gods that you did. Next time we see each other, drinks are on me. I certainly wish the Menagerie could have finally given that show we promised you. But we'll be laying real low for the time being. Once we got a better sense of what the response from Rioviz and Griffin will be, maybe I'll reach out to you, so we can give you a proper thanks used. Till then, take care of yourselves. You got friends and allies who are ready and able to help you if or when you need. Just say the word, and I'll be there with bells on. Warm regards, Alistair Landry Gold.
Yeah.
Is there a
For
picture?
context, there was a picture that was shared that made us all giggle.
No, we can't show that on screen.
I can't show that on stream.
Can we explain what it is?
There's no picture.
Actually, rereading
It's a
Alistair's
dick bite.
note here, it appears that perhaps him and his crew may be keeping tabs on anything coming out of RioViz on that front. So, I mean, to Timon's point, I think to try to not bite off more than we can chew, I think maybe we leave that to them unless something falls on our lap that makes sense for us to pursue. We've already, I mean, we can only be pulled in so many directions. I think, at least from the Galarin side, we maybe consider that a closed door for now, at least on the Midnight Core side, and then see what we can do to help the wards, or at least kind of some of the arrangements or promises that we had given to those.
Astra, you get a vision from Hoku. It's just a still picture, essentially. Of
Dick bite.
of the shard, and it's just surrounded by a cage of sorts, like a force cage, just like a cage of glass, like, and he's just curled around it.
Inside the cage?
No, outside. Like he's
Okay.
curled around it almost like protectively, like
so I'm
cradling
getting
it.
the sense he just thinks we should protect it.
That's what he thinks.
You should probably send a message to Alistair and thank him for what a nice note.
Perhaps after we send out more pressing messages. I mean, perhaps he's close by. You can maybe send a message to.
He's gonna think we're rude if we don't.
Big one.
Hi.
As you're just wrapping up on this project, you're putting the finishing pieces on it. It's ready. Make a perception check for me.
Oh shit, Dak. Is this have to do with smell?
You can say it does, sure.
That never happens.
Never happened.
Timon farted again.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Maybe it's because you catch a whiff of something, but you turn to your right, almost to one of the fences of this backyard.
Yeah.
And as you turn, you just see like something duck behind it, like something that was peeking up over it is stuck behind it.
How tall is said thing?
The fence is probably like just a little above your height.
Oh.
It's a tall fence for a dormant blacksmith, but you can gather that it was built in such a way to like protect the window of the upper floor as well, to grant some privacy.
Is there anything in the vicinity that I could push and stand on, or is there anything against the fence that's already there that I can stand on?
There's probably like a giant anvil. You'd have to move it. There's not much else that could hold your weight.
All right. In that case, I'll be like, "Whoa," and I'll take the gloves off, and then you guys will all just see me run past you like, "Oh, oh, oh," and I'll try and go around to see if I see who it is or what it was.
So, quick question: while you were doing this, where was the shard?
It's gonna happen.
I would grab the bag it was still in and take it with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Or as I'm going, I'll just be like, "Don't let anybody take this." And I'll just run past you guys.
So you run past out.
So I will
the
keep
entrance?
it in the golden anvil
Okay.
where they are.
Okay.
So not
So
just alone by
you just
itself
see the big
outside.
one run through the room.
Where you, big one? Where are you going, lad?
I'm just running.
Do I see like a worried face on you? Like,
Not necessarily worried,
well,
but
can I like discern like kind
Make
of?
an insight check.
I'm gonna say, given the recent events and that we're just kind of holding up here, I'm putting on my spider boots and I'm just following.
Are you attuned to those?
What's that?
Did you attune to those over your
I
rep?
think you did.
Do you
Oh,
need
I
to
thought I did
attune to them?
overnight, or at least I.
I think there's like something in the UI that you can select to
You can
attune.
say
If you
I'm
haven't done
attuned to
that
this.
yet, you
Yeah.
check.
Oh,
Under
okay.
like I think inventory, and then attunement. Then you have to just like
I rolled
click one of the
25,
slots
I'm
and then
pretty
click
sure.
yeah.
You can tell that he's like looking for something.
He's like
So just-
concerned
Yeah,
or
my
something.
inventory.
Yeah.
Is there something else beyond that I have to do?
They might not need attunement. That's why I'm not sure if they do or not. But if they do, you should make sure to
I
attune.
don't think they.
They would say.
I don't like the app. Oh yeah, right here. Scroll down. So if you were to click it, boots a spider, and it will go up into the first slot.
Oh, because you can only have so many attunements.
Yes.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, have those on, and then I'm just gonna go after them. Do they also? Do they feel weird? As I'm
They feel a little strange. They're like they have a lot more grip than anything that you're used to wearing in many ways, but they don't affect your movement.
Oh,
Yeah, you probably see like less concern, more like curiosity.
I'm not sure what he's going after, but if he left this bag here, there must be something that could be maybe of concern outside. I'll stay here with this. If people want to go check out, I don't know if he wants to go out there alone.
All right.
He's already following a little behind.
Yeah.
I'm just putting my breeches on.
Just spends all
We're
morning
doing
naked.
push-ups with them, without them.
Big one. As you rush out the door, you turn to the left. The building right next to, like the lot right next to the Golden Anvil, seems like a storage shed or warehouse of sorts. It's fenced in as well, like similar. It seems like all the fences in these lots were built to like a specific standard. They're all metal. They're all fairly high. You try to take a look through the gate. The warehouse itself is open. There's not many people inside. There's maybe like as you look through the like big wide open door, you can see a few boxes scattered about. In the back corner, there's somebody just sitting on it on top of a crate, basically just like not sure what to do. It's also pitch. It's also pitch black darkness.
Yeah.
Like there is no light. None of the like one of the torches that would have previously been glowing on the wall
It's
here
working.
is
Yeah,
off.
so I'll take out one of my little orbs.
Yep.
And click the button, and it'll just light up.
Yep. You enter into the shed itself, and you gather that the figure that you saw was probably around like the perimeter of the shed.
Area, yeah.
But you're within like the courtyard of the shed, like warehouse storage area. The figure that's sitting in the corner of the shed kind of looks up to you. He looks like a half orc.
Oh, sir.
He looks pretty like run down, pretty aged. He's got like big mutton chops and like graying beard of sorts. He looks up to you and is like, "How can I help you?"
Oh, sorry to disturb you. I just noticed that somebody or something was having an extra long look into my shop next door, and I'm wondering if you saw anything.
Your shop next door?
Yes, we are actually currently using the Golden Anvil for some projects.
What happened to old Deldrock?
He's dead.
wow. Big one.
Well, shit.
Yeah, some things have been going on here. It seems like a few of the blacksmiths along here have been indisposed in some way or another, and he's a long family friend.
You'll see me start to sweat.
Deception.
For cheater.
Yeah.
Oh.
Natural 20. 21.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't really know him.
Well, I'm sorry for your family's loss.
Not in a long time. Anyway.
It's probably just some kids. They don't have anything to do. They're just running around.
Oh, you didn't see anybody?
Nah, nobody's come here. It's not really any reason to come pick up supplies when everything is shut down.
When he says he didn't see anything, can I make an insight check?
Sure.
That's
Kind of cocked.
pretty cock.
Yeah.
What did I say? Insight? Just a 19.
You can tell that he's probably like half asleep.
Okay.
So,
Like not really been paying much attention.
do you mind if I just have a
It's dark.
quick look outside? If that's okay. I don't want to disturb you. I'll be a few minutes.
Sure.
Okay, thank
Have
you.
at it.
And then I'll just go to
Where
where the...
Arkmir and Time and you both approach the entrance of the warehouse at this point, and the guy looks up and he sees more people, and he's like, "Well, apparently we're back in business." He's like, gets up and looks.
Please, these are just my friends. We're actually all working next door.
Well, if you need any supplies,
Oh,
I've got a box of nails.
oh, perhaps. We'll definitely keep it in mind.
Are they iron nails?
No, electro steel.
Shite.
What
Big
else
one,
do you
what happened? Why did you run?
Oh, I'm sorry. There was somebody or something. I think I saw somebody watching me work from behind the fence, but I'm not quite sure where they went.
And it wasn't this gentleman?
Can you?
I don't believe so. He also seems very old and tired. I don't
Say
think he's
loudly.
that nimble.
Yeah.
I don't think he's nimble enough to duck as fast as this person did.
I'll tell you what. Back in my day, I used to cart all these boxes
Oh,
all over from Gearfist Terminal all the way over here to the Blacksmith Road.
Absolutely no disrespect.
None of the smithies here would be anything if it wasn't for me and my shed.
Oh, that's
Big
perfect.
one, point me to where you saw him.
Yes, it was just out here. Thank you.
And I'll go right to where I thought I saw something.
As you go out and you turn around, you actually do see just the backyard of the shed area is just piled with boxes.
Cool.
Most of them are empty. Some of them do seem like heavy. Some of them like are open, and you can see just like boxes of nails, tools, hammers, like some wood, some satchels of things that you don't even recognize because they're sealed and not really visible. It's a fairly cramped backyard full of boxes. Each of you make a perception check to see if you see any.
Why is it always perception? Can it be investigation?
Look with your eyes.
17.
5.
His is 19 plus.
Second. Because I forgot my iPad.
He's got to finish his text.
Best.
Perception. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. 23.
Very wise.
So big one. You notice that like there's boxes that are piled up near the edge of like your fence,
could
but
have been
it
standing
is
on them.
but you don't notice any like traces or anything like that. They're piled up pretty high, almost to the very edge of the fence.
Oh.
So if there was somebody on top of them,
Short.
it's probably someone short.
Oh.
Timond, you notice not in the corner of where you are at, in the back corner there's like a couple of boxes with like a tarp that's like draped over it, and you just see like some eyes peeking out from underneath the tarp, just like staring at you.
Where is this? Like, is this?
It's like off to the right, it's like off in the
Yeah, he's
corner.
gonna shoot the fucking kid.
Nat 20.
Obliterates him. So as you're noticing this,
Pretty
you're-
low, like the boxes are very low, and the figure underneath the tarp must be fairly small.
so as he's noticing this,
Oh, well, this is where I think I saw it.
I draw my weapon. There!
Oh. Oh,
The tarp kind of falls away, and you just see this like small halfling boy,
Come
like
forward.
curly brown hair,
clearly
just
a
like
kid.
almost pissed himself. Has definitely pissed himself.
it's
Just had
it's
like-
okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
lower it.
yeah.
It's just a little boy. Hello.
Timon, put that away.
It's okay.
You don't tell me what to do.
We didn't mean to startle you. Please come here. We just want to see if you're okay. She's probably dead. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Everyone's dead.
Oh, are you lost?
No, it's just playing here with my sister. She left.
That's. Please, we're not gonna hurt you. I promise.
I already put my arm away. Come here.
We maybe can help you find your mother.
As he kind of comes out of the like little like tarp fort that he made.
Tarp for it.
You can see that it's like small even for like a halfling in many ways. Short, scrawny, probably I don't know how halflings age, but like definitely not like mature. He's like probably
Very little.
6 or 7 years old.
No time. No. I'm sorry.
He's wearing like just
Enjoy
these
my day.
plain like ratty brown overalls with like a pale white like undershirt, like underclothes. No shoes. Like
Rod, come here. I kneel. Come here. You may approach.
He walks up to you.
What's your name?
My name's Tom.
Tom, were you looking over the fence?
Yeah.
Why?
He's a kid, Diamond.
I was. We wanted to see what all the hammering was.
Oh, I was just
Nobody else is working.
Yes, I was. You see, I'm quite the creator. I like to build things, and I was actually just making some toys.
What kind of toys?
Oh,
And I'm gonna pull out like just a ball of metal.
I was making some bouncy balls. Actually, would you like one?
And I'll hand him just a
And whisper
ball of.
A hunk of electricity.
Huh?
Is it the one that lights up?
He takes it and just like looks at it.
You owe me 4,000.
How does this?
Oh,
What is it called?
it's called the Big One's Curiosity of Balls and Things.
Left. No.
See, the secret is in this.
The balls and things.
The secret, you can see I have a special arm, and when I click it, and I'll click the button, it lights up.
Glows. And keep it?
Certainly,
Thank you.
no problem.
Like,
Do you
just
know
holds
where your mother is, or can we help you get somewhere?
I mean, she's probably home. Like points that away.
Should we?
Where is home? Well,
He like
What
points
are
off
you-
to the left.
what are you doing out here? It's dark and cold outside.
We got bored at home. There was nothing to do. My sister, Cleo, said that we would come out and play. And we were playing hide and seek. And she left.
When
Did
did she
she?
leave?
I don't know. She wasn't here. And so I was playing with myself then. I looked up.
7-year-old.
Wow.
I was playing by myself then.
Terrible.
I was just looking around. I heard all this tink, tink, tink hammering.
yes.
I wanted to
making
see
you a
what you were doing.
That's your mother's name.
Mom.
Mama.
Mom?
Caldeir's not there.
Yeah.
Like, what would you think? Like, what would you do if she died?
Mama?
Dude, if she wasn't around.
I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna get many more
Would you
answers.
take over the household?
I can take you to.
Perhaps
We can
should
go
take-
play.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Perhaps another night or day. It's I have some other toys that I need to make for some other children. So,
I can help
Can you
Tom.
make something
get
for
home.
my sister?
as a matter of fact,
A second ball. I'm not
Is it
gonna
okay
mark
if
it,
I
'cause
keep
as soon as
this
he leaves,
one
I'll just,
too?
it'll just disappear.
please, yes.
Okay.
Tom, where are your shoes?
They're.
Get your shit together.
I don't know.
There
I
are
guess I
nails
forgot
everywhere
them.
around here.
This is a very unsafe place to play. Please
We
be
play
careful.
here all the time. It's safe.
Not anymore.
Oh. Is
Do
it
you not
because of
have
all the
shoes?
dark?
Yes, we're trying to keep the
Do
area
you know
safe.
what happened? Why is it all dark?
Well, you see, we were underground and this big explosion
Big
happened.
No.
one. Big one. Leave that.
Oh,
Don't bother the kid with those things.
Hey Tom, here. Let me give you these, and I'm gonna pull out my old pair of shoes. And,
They're like almost up, like half of his
I
body.
mean, like, I'm
He'll grow
sure
up to-
you'll grow into these.
He takes the 2 balls and puts them inside the shoes, and like picks up the 2 shoes. Thank you.
Aww.
I don't
What
think
are
we
you-
have anything to worry about.
Are you all living at Uncle Mountain Smith's home?
Do I tell him he's dead too? Yes, we're friends of his. He's currently out of town, but
I heard he left. Papa told me.
who?
Papa.
Oh, I thought he said Aqua. I was like, they made good music. But Papa. Oh, and does your Papa live there as well?
Yes.
Oh,
He works there. He's very good.
okay. Perhaps we'll come see him one day and talk with.
What does your papa do, lad?
He makes things.
What kind of things? Made of metal, made of wood,
He
made of cloth?
he makes things.
Oh, sounds like a wonderful man.
It's like this kid's a fucking
Oh,
He-
just left.
He showed me something he made once.
Oh,
It's he made a very nice sword once.
Oh,
He was very proud of it. It was my favorite.
So
I think it's because it was red. I like red.
Tom, do you have access to this sword?
Do you want to show me it?
Tom, do you want to show me the sword?
Papa sold it to someone.
Don't we have a red sword?
Last.
That was
I
last
think it was
time.
the
Oh
last.
yeah, that was Sora's sword.
Yeah.
Just trying to bring it back.
Papa makes things out of metal. Yes, metal. Electro steel.
oh, well, that's made of electrosteel as well. The balls.
That's why it's so light. Papa said electro steel is very light.
It's very light, but it is also very strong.
but not strong as iron.
Oh well, in its own way.
Okay.
Um,
Meanwhile, back over in the hut with Astra and Keltier.
Is it Thom or Tom?
Tom.
What?
T-H-O-M.
Oh, I'm not even a right. I hate
Thom?
Oh, it is Thom.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Thom.
Man, he has a dumb name too.
Yeah.
What would you do with
Not hating on anybody out there named Thom.
I'm just kidding. I don't actually ask that.
Sorry, audience.
Sorry,
Not
Thoms.
it.
Stupid fucking Thoms.
I'm curious. Like, I would not open the bag or look inside or anything like that. But so first of all, can I see a glow from the bag? I know they wrapped it and did stuff, but like
It's
no.
like pretty faint, if
Is-
there is anything.
Is it like giving off heat or anything? Like I wouldn't touch
No.
it, but I would just like see if there's like a aura
Cold, if anything.
No.
or cold. Yeah.
No,
No?
it's not.
Curious thing that we have in this bag here.
What is it? I'm just sitting in the chair the big one was in. I'm flipping through his book.
Hoku's curled himself around the bag
Yeah.
Yeah.
as soon as the
Yeah.
big one dropped it.
Hoku seems to be
Don't worry, I'll break it.
very interested in this thing.
So, what's in there?
When the shard that was powered.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Hoku also really wants to protect that thing. He's very, very protective of it.
It's because he's a good boy. My good boy. Your
He'll
face is
murder you in real life.
Has he ever behaved this way with anything else? Is he obsessive about
I mean,
items?
like me. I mean, he really loves me. He loves me the most. Definitely not a big one. But no, in terms of items, this is like his favorite toy.
People.
I'm actually. I have a question. You seem to know a lot about the stars and constellations in the sky.
Mhm.
I'm curious if you've ever read anything about people being perhaps attached to the constellations in any way.
People,
Yeah, like
do you mean
and I.
like gods,
Or
or like regular people?
I mean, like regular people. I mean, it's not. I mean, gods take many different shapes and presences. So it's not too. I mean, there's a lot of gods that have constellations in the sky, but I'm curious about.
I mean, the constellations can tell us stories. They can tell us about gods and premonitions. When you say a person is attached to a constellation, are they like hanging there, floating in space? What exactly?
No, I don't mean physically attached to a constellation in the sky. I more so mean kind of perhaps like a spiritual tie, or I'm not too sure. There's just things I've read about and was just kind of curious, or thoughts I had about whether or not I'm not sure if constellations can mean. I guess I'm curious at what all constellations could mean, other than just the kind of things that they've been widely talked about.
I mean, I do remember reading about. Do you know about Cosm?
I'm sure I've heard.
Make a religion check.
Let's go. Which one? This one. No, fuck me up.
This is like Calpy actually saying
13.
You've heard whispers of a name. Sorry, my pencil.
Yeah.
You've heard whisper of a name. Maybe it's because it goes by something different in Elvish. It doesn't immediately come to you. But there is a god, a deity, that generally people don't worship as much. Many don't know of him or it. You gather that you've heard of it being referred to as Cosm in common.
Right. I mean, I'm somewhat familiar. I know it by a slightly different name. But I mean, I don't know a lot.
Are you a Cosmite?
No.
Okay. All I remember is, from what I read about Cosm, it is kind of like in the restricted section of the library, you know?
Is there a library up north?
Yep.
Nice.
That's where I had all my books. And yeah, like they believe everything and everyone is connected, and I don't know, Cosm is just like, he's just like a singular deity that reflects the entire cosmos.
deity.
What is it?
Deity.
Oh, deity.
Shut
Shut up. And creator of Panthea Cosmologica. Yep.
You've heard the whispers that you've heard in Elvish is the name Nilzima.
Nilzima?
Yes.
No.
Nilzima apostrophe A.
Sure. I repeat what you just said, but not to butcher it any further. I'm not going to actually say it. That's just the name that I know of this deity by. I'm not too familiar, but I've heard some of what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe it's similar. I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah. Why? What makes you ask?
Just during my meditation, I go through a lot of things. I have a lot of time to think and reflect on things, and I just always wonder if there's greater things at play that bring people together. I mean, some people refer to it as fate or destiny. Others consider it just pure happenstance. And then I don't know. I think about all the options, and constellations have played a big part in a lot of people's beliefs and religion, and it's just something I was curious about.
Well, if you were attached to a constellation, which one would you be attached to?
I don't think I would be attached to a constellation, but if we're speaking to things in the sky, perhaps the moon.
That's not at all what I asked.
Why? What constellation would you be attached to?
Oh man, so hard to ask. There's so many good ones. Like there are so many really cool ones. I don't know. But going back to Cosm, there's no constellation that refers to them, but some believe that the vast darkness is proof. The more you know.
Yes. everything else in the sky.
Thought that was kind of interesting.
Back in the backyard of the shed.
Holding him upside down. Give your lunch money.
Give us our stuff back.
Give us a red sword.
You want your sister back?
This poor kid.
What are you all doing?
Well, I don't know if this kid has much to offer. I mean, I know that his uncle is not here anymore, but out of town.
Yeah, I think he, I don't think he offers much of threat, so you said you might be able to take him
Home?
across to his home. I'm probably gonna go back to making toys.
Okay.
Big one. Don't leave me with Artmere.
You can come with me. Or you should work some things out, as Astra said. I don't really know what that means, but perhaps you can work some things out.
I was just start walking back.
It's
So
a
unimpressed.
pleasure meeting you, Tom. Perhaps I'll stop by if I would love to speak to another inventor such as your father, or perhaps bring you and your sister another toy.
Thanks.
Get home safe, okay?
Okay.
And I'll start walking back.
On Tom. Show me where this one now. Yeah, Tom, I can help you. You know, head back home.
It's holding the boots with the heavy, like, electrosteel or light electrosteel
Very
balls on
light.
them. It, like, puts that in the hand and, like, grabs your. And just starts walking.
Does he like go up to your knee?
I don't know how tall he
Basically,
is.
yeah,
He's a halfling.
He goes
kid.
up to about your knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how tall do halflings get? Like,
smaller
Like
than
to your
gnomes.
waist?
About
If
to your
that-
waist-ish.
Yeah.
oh man,
They're like 2.5 feet.
my boot is like a
They're
house
basically
for-
halflings are basically hobbits.
Yeah.
Not legally. Don't sue us. Legally, completely unrelated to the Tolkien estate.
You said hope it.
Yes, they're basically
Hobites.
Yeah.
Maybe not. No.
Their bites have
Maybe not that.
I retract what I said.
Yeah.
Carry on. He kind of like begins walking and just slow. You walk past Timon, who's still standing there in the backyard. Start making your way out to the front.
Artmere, you shouldn't head out there alone.
Well then. Hey, what'd you do with the bracelet that was on your chest?
Oh yeah.
I slept with, like, facing down. What are you talking about?
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna pick up Thumb, because I guess he's just some tiny kid.
You're just holding the boots, and so now you pick him up, and now he's
Alright, Thumb. Uncle Timon here and I are gonna take you home.
points to along the ways down the street, on the opposite side of the street, actually, to a shop. And as you approach, Timon, are you walking with him or behind him? Or?
Alongside him. And I say, the big one will find his way back. Like, he can't see in the dark, and he gave away his 2 legs.
The kids like they lights go out.
The kid has like.
To be fair, I can cast 3 at a time. It's when I go to cast a 4th one, the first one would go, and so on and so
Toys
forth.
are gonna
So
die one day.
they're still currently glowing. There is no range or anything either. So for now, he has the glowing ones. I told him it requires the magic touch.
I'm just imagining Timon's like trying to talk without moving his mouth. Just like, all right, let's go. All right, you think the gun's gonna hide us? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Torture.
No emotion.
As you approach, Timon, you're the first one to notice.
Uh-oh. You're dead.
On that perception.
The sign of the shop is a hammer. And it looks very similar to the hammer of your shop.
To the blue hammer?
It's very similar to the blue hammer, except it's not blue.
Oh.
It has. Make a perception check.
Torgan or something? Thorgan.
Oregon Ironbeard. Perception 16.
It's similar in design, but it looks like it's made out of electrosteel, purely. And the sort of like placard underneath it that would usually say the blue hammer instead says Ironbeard's hammer.
What does this Ironbeard's place? Kid, what's your last name?
It's really long. I'm not going. I never get it right.
It's like
Tell me what you
Don't
know.
make him ask you twice. You know what he did last time.
Brockmonbeard?
Brockmonbeard.
Something like that. I never get it right.
You fucking kid. Is your name even Thumb?
Yeah, try saying something else. Yeah.
Then mom appears. Igor!
you never get it right.
Told you.
God damn it, Tom.
That's why we don't trust thumbs.
This
kid just gets lost.
The door to the shop is open.
Arkmir. Wait.
Let's turn around holding
Did you see the sign?
Ironbeard.
I think it's family.
You should hold Thumb and go.
Hold the kid awkwardly. Alright. Then I walk into the shop.
As you walk in, you just see a woman who's just standing behind like a table. She's just like dusting some like old armor pieces on the wall, like a hammer that's like stuck up on the wall, a sword, a shield, like a lot of weapons and armor in general. And she's just dusting it clean absentmindedly. She's a halfling, curly brown hair, similar to Tom. Middle-aged, a little bit older. Turns around and looks at you.
Hello.
Oh, you found... What trouble did he get into this time?
She didn't confirm it was Tom.
Tom Burren. Go back to your room. Where's your sister? Go play with your sister.
I drop him.
Okay. She just like looks up to her and then just like runs off with the boots. I hope he wasn't too much trouble.
No, he's a sweet kid.
If you had to deal with him every day, you wouldn't say that. Thank you for bringing him back. It's dark outside. It's dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous out there. There's no light in the
Hard to
place.
keep tabs on them when there is light. And
I'm sorry. My name's Diamond.
Cleo. No, wait. Cleo was his.
The
Never
sister.
mind. Catherine. Catherine.
With a
Catherine.
K or a C?
With a C.
Nice to meet you. This person here is Arkmir. This person here is Arkmir. Do you own the shop?
Of sorts. It's a family business.
I-
My husband owns it.
I couldn't help to notice that it's called Ironbeard Hammer.
Hi. I'm Catherine Brownlock Ironbeard.
Brownlock Ironbeard.
Born Brownlock. We took both of our names when we got married.
That's why the kid couldn't say it's stupid kid.
Yes. Is your husband
Rockman beard.
Torgan Ironbeard?
Yeah, Torgan. You know him. Are you
Well-
from Cornwall?
I am.
Oh.
I'm Diamond Ironbeard.
Her eyes like go wide. And she like momentarily like looks back at you. And then just like jumps over the like counter and like gives you a big hug.
He's knocked unconscious.
Oh, you're.
Suffered 5 points.
I've never met a member of Torgen's family. It's so nice to see you. What brings you to Schema? Torgen, get out here! And she just starts shouting. And from the top of the stair landings, you see another figure kind of like sitting, like almost sitting perched on the top of the stairs, looking towards you. It's a little girl. Looking at her, she looks very strikingly similar to Anya. She reminds you a lot of her runty, like little brownish, blackish hair. Not the same hair color, but like her facial structure, she looks strikingly similar. Meanwhile, from the door behind, a dwarf kind of like rushes out. The dwarf who's older than you by quite a bit. The grayish, whitish beard, tied up with the iron rings, braided hair, and like 3 different braids going back. He's wearing like blacksmith's attire, apron, and everything, but not the gloves. He doesn't seem like he's been working on anything. Kind of like peeks out from the door, looks up at you. What's with all the racket? There's nothing to do. Torgen, it's family. What did you say your name was? And Torgen kind of looks towards you.
I'm Diamond.
Hi, Diamond. Tigram's little boy?
Aye.
Yeah. Well, Ned, what brings you here? Haven't seen anyone in the family for a century.
I didn't. I'm sorry. How are you related to the clan?
You're joking, right? You're joking.
No, sorry. It's my first time in Schema, and I never heard of Ironbeard in Schema.
One fight with the old man, and he struck me off. Did he knock me off the tree? The family tree, in the wall, in the clan house. I'm Tigram's cousin.
I never saw you there. I mean, now that I come to think about it, there was a bit of a chip on the rock. Well, so you are my
That would make me your uncle.
Uncle! Oh! Diamond hugs
Nephew.
His dad's cousin?
Cousin once removed or something?
I think it's a cousin once removed,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
uncle cousin, or something like that.
that.
Uncle will work for now. Uncle Tigram. Oh, it's so good to see a familiar face.
Hi. And you. Your
This
friends?
person is Arkmir.
I'm a person.
Well met. What is everything all right in Cornwall? Haven't seen anyone from our family in centuries.
Centuries.
Well, at least a century.
Have you heard of Anya Ironbeard?
Can't say that I have. I think I left before she was born.
She was pretty young. She was 42. And she disappeared. She's my sister. I came to town in search of answers. It was a bit of a perilous journey. I mean, you've done it.
I don't even know how I made it here safe.
Did you get attacked by live trees and bushes or something like that?
No, but there was a giant bird.
Giant bird?
Pretty scary.
Oof. It's crazy out of this town.
It is. Aye.
What happened to this world? Like, I saw. So, I came here, I don't know, a week or 2 back. I can't remember anymore. I've been so tired over the past few days, and it's so much happening so quick. But I have a group of companions, and we're staying at the Golden Anvil.
Ah, you're staying at Deldrock's old place. I was wondering who'd move in there.
We were granted occupancy there by half step.
Yeah. By half step.
By half step. Aye.
Interesting. Wait. She has no authority here. Okay.
What happened to... What's his name? The Golden Anvil guy? Deldrock?
He...
Is he family as well?
No, his friend. Close
right.
friends. There's a small group of us dwarven blacksmiths over here. We kind of keep an eye out for each other. Not always on the friendliest of terms with most of them, but Deldrock was a good guy. Fuck Fasnog though.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about him anymore.
Oh shit! I mean, I didn't. Is he all right? What happened? What happened to him?
He got involved with the wrong kind of people.
Oh shit. Well, to be fair, so did Deldrock.
What happened here? Like,
Just running up debts. He didn't want to work on some of the iron stuff that everyone else here was working on.
were
Ran
they
up
all-
some debts with some very powerful folks here. I was out there, saw them come, beat them up, demand money, demand payment. I think he kind of beat it out of the ward and out of the town pretty soon after that.
Did they come to you?
No, I don't usually hang out with those lot. They're the...
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
Maybe that was all. Actually, maybe not.
I do have natural 20.
Yeah, you believe him. He's not he seems to be telling the truth. He's not doing any, like, he turns to you and is like, yeah, I try to keep my nose clean. I have friends in high places, so to speak, outside of this ward. They help me kind of keep my nose clean, if you know what I mean. Those who rule this ward, maybe not the biggest fan of me, but they're not the biggest fan of most people. So
Fasnog was certainly not like that. He got pretty deep into the machinations, I guess, that were happening, and
that's not used to be like that either. He didn't used to hang out with the Golden Douglas.
Golden Dollars? Wait,
Yeah, they run this ward. Nothing in this ward happens without them. No.
wait. But it wasn't the Govendalas that Fasnog was working with. He was
I
working
would probably
with
explain why he's dead.
working
You
with
did
the
say he was
razors.
dead, right?
Yeah, I is dead. Working with the razors, though.
I haven't heard much of them, to be honest.
Where do they are they based anywhere, or that you know, or any
Everybody
places
knows.
to?
You want to go talk to Govendalis? You go to the Mushroom Lounge.
Ah, fuck shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mushroom Lounge.
Yep.
I heard of that place. Can't remember for what. We what kind of work do you do here, Uncle? I'm curious. What kind of metal and like I've seen some shitty craftsmanship in this town.
Whoa!
I work on a bunch of different sort of things, to be
What-
honest.
What is this? What can you tell me about this electro steel? The two
Yeah,
times I
that's-
tried to to hammer it like it would strike back at me.
The electrosteel can be a temperamental thing. But once you know how to make her sing, you can make some wondrous pieces out of it. That's actually my specialty, my area of expertise. I came here many centuries, or well, a century ago. I came here and we had a fight. Actually, had a fight with your father. He was very proud, very confident in his skills. Claimed he was the best blacksmith ever. I challenged him, said that he only really knew how to work with iron, not much more.
Sounds like the old man.
He was stubborn, and I really felt like working with him and in the blue anvil or at the blue hammer wasn't meant to be. So I left. I kind of struck out on my own. When I came here, I focused mostly on iron, but iron's a lot rarer to find here, and in general, there's just not that much demand for it. I started experimenting out, and a lot of failures, really, to be honest. Till I eventually realized to let go.
To let go. Let go of what?
To stop trying to make what I wanted to make, and let the metal shape itself into what it wants to be. And he points up on the wall of all the different metal weapons and armor. They all seem to have electrosteel built into them. There are iron electrosteel alloys, there's stone electrosteel alloys, there's a large portion of the armor plates and stuff are made of electrosteel. You can make some really fine craftsmanship, and with a little bit of connections up in Ward 1, you can get some these bad boys primed for some enchanting.
Oh, so there's some magic stuff here.
Think of them as still unfinished, but they're much easier to, due to the nature of electrosteel. These pieces much easier to enchant than anything that your father or anyone in Cornwall could ever make. You know how hard it is to make any sort of magical commission coming through Cornwall. It takes months of people chanting in the temple.
I mean, they never really touched any of that. It was always the old man.
Yeah.
The old man would say, hammer the sword or hammer this shield and then give it to me so I can finish it. And
I think that's what
kept it close to his heart.
Yeah. Breaking out on my own, that's what I've learned. Nobody knows how to make everything. You just make what makes sense.
I mean,
I'm just sitting down, by the way, now. As this conversation is going, I'm going to find a seat, make myself comfortable, and I'm looking
Thomas
around.
kind of come back down the stairs. He's put the boots and the balls away, and he's peeking around. He looks at you and looks in, just gives a thumbs up. Comes back upstairs.
I'm just looking around the shop. Is it just armor that he has around there? Or
There's armor, there's weapons, there's daggers, swords, all sorts of different things. There's not that many pieces. There's probably a half dozen pieces, but there's shelves and drawers. You gather there's probably more stuff.
As soon as I see him walking around and looking around, I give him the worst thing.
I'm not walking around or looking around.
Oh, okay.
You guys are just talking, and I'm sitting
just
down
sitting
and
in That was when I realized I wasn't really making the same things as your father and his father before him. That was when I decided to change the name. It was the Blue Hammer for a while, so I wanted to be better than them. Now I'm different. I'm married and have a family. Good life.
So your kid Tom, and
I'm sure he saw you first. That kid is real good at sneaking into places he's not supposed to be.
I That's exactly what happened. And I saw the loss.
Yeah,
over
Cleo.
there.
Hmm.
She strikingly familiar to my Anya.
Yeah, family resemblance.
What do you know about the storms?
What storms? The red lightning
The
storm?
red lightning ones.
Stay the fuck away from them is all I know.
Do you remember the stories about the rift?
I knew. No, I think that was after my time.
The rift inside the mountain.
I think nobody really went down to take that close of a look at it until like after his time, right? I might be misremembering. I haven't looked at. Yeah, he never went down himself. So.
Simon has accompanied Anya on the way there, and there's
Okay.
a story about like goblins attacking and
Oh, okay.
people dying.
You would know that better than I do. Yeah. He's probably not. He's lived a century here. He's forgotten all of it by now, anyway. So.
I think Anya's disappearance has something to do with that. So, no, doesn't matter.
We're safe in the city from it. We obviously, like, when I leave Ward 3, I just look around the Rift and Ring and I see the storms outside the city, but we don't really pay too much attention to them. Do you know what's going on here in the ward? Why is all the power out?
I think it has something to do with the explosion that you heard.
I think I heard something.
That's as much as I know. And Anya helped me make this. Present Thunder.
What is that? Is that one of those? Looks like an artificer weapon.
This is Thunder.
Damn right.
It's a rifle, a boomstick.
Well made.
I pride myself of my iron working skills, but this little part here, this golden part, Anya came up with that. I don't know. Showed up with that. Is this electro steel?
Take a look. So look at it. Puts it down. Huh. Where'd you get this material?
Anya, I mean, overall the wood was pretty hard to find, and the iron I had plenty at the shop, but the trigger mechanism, that was Anya.
Looks like electro steel to me.
I had never seen electro steel back in Cornwall.
There's, as far as I know, there is no electro steel outside of Schema. Maybe she got it off someone. Maybe she bought it off of someone.
Oh,
But this is. You mind if I take a piece, like one of these gears, and just take a look at it? He like starts digging through, like he starts rummaging through on other drawers, finds like a similar gear made of electro steel. You can see as he's holding them both up, the one in your gun is a brighter, more golden shade, and than the one that he brings out. He's like, if you don't mind, you can use this while I kind of take a look at this a little bit closer.
how long do you need it?
I kind of want to take a piece of it and smell it down and see what it is, if you don't mind. This doesn't look like any electrosteel I've seen. It seems purer, if anything.
I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. I really treasure this weapon. It's the last thing I have from Anya.
I understand. Here, he like hands the gear back and like you put it in the firing mechanism and kind of.
Perhaps I can show you more of this if you were to teach me some of your tricks.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 10.
Yeah, I mean, lights out in the ward. I don't have any commissions I can work on right now. If you want, we can work together on my forge for something, and if there's then something you want to work on and something you want to make, I've got nothing to do over the next few days, at least until the power comes back on.
Well, I do have a little project that I could use some help on.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
And then perhaps you can inspect the material without destroying it.
It's gonna be hard to do, to be honest.
Well, let's see what we can do. And I do need to get word to my friends before. Are you guys planning on staying here?
And where else would we go?
You can stay here, Timon. I can make my way back. If you'd like to get started now.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Armir.
Yeah. The cringe.
Meanwhile, back at the Golden Anvil, the big one, you arrived back at the room with Astra and Kelthir just hanging out. I don't know, what were you doing?
Walk into the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. That one's really cool. Also the North Star. Also.
I'll just like sneak in and just grab the bag.
With Hoku.
Yeah. Not yet.
Big one.
Yes.
When you were out back working this morning, I was just speaking with the others about potentially sending a message to some people in the city, and I was wondering if you had any thought on who might be good or important to send those to. I can only do so much in a day, so I wanted to see who might be the first people that it would make sense to. Had thought of potentially Harriet or Cassandra.
Both would be. I think we should give an update to Harriet at some point. I hadn't thought of Cassandra, but I should probably check in with my father, especially everything that happened with the shard. I mean, everything that was in the book that Astra has there is presumably part of it written from my father, or all the experiments he's tried on it are in there. Perhaps he would at least know what the next steps are for this shard, or perhaps just even letting him know would be beneficial, but I'm not quite sure. Whoever you all feel is the best course of action.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely look to inform Spark-Eye.
He also might be able to get in contact with Harriet.
That's also what I was thinking of. I mean, he's gotten in contact with her before. That's actually how we met her, was at your father's place. So perhaps could try to inform him a little bit of what's happening and just tell him to let Harriet know and reach out to, if he has a means to reach out to you. That's definitely an option. I guess I'm very limited in how much I can actually say. Is there anything in the message that you want to make sure that I convey?
Say Astra says hi.
I may not be able to squeeze that in.
We'll let him know that we're safe and that we've reached the Golden Anvil. And perhaps that the shard is destroyed at Ward 3, and there might be a bigger issue on hand, and that I'm not quite sure if I'm able to do the task he sent me out to. I'm going to try, and it might take some time, but any tips that he could give me would be very helpful, and that I love him, and is this too much?
Okay. Well, I mean, I can
summarize it.
I can certainly try to squeeze as much.
We are here.
Yeah.
Shard is broken. I have it.
Shard.
I believe when I contact them, they should be aware that it is me. So hopefully that can help reduce some of what I need to say. Cut out the preamble, perhaps.
Oh, I don't know what that means, for sure.
I'm gonna try sending a message to Spark Eye.
Okay.
Just double check reading. Okay. Before I do, really quickly, actually no, he would know it's me theoretically.
You casting sending?
I'm casting sending. Oh man. Made it to Ward 3. Yeah. Oh shit, what? Climatology building. Well, not building. Power destroyed.
Shard.
Climatology building?
No. That I said like power
Power
source destroyed.
source.
Big one has the shard. He needs help. Let Harriet know. Astra says hi.
Yes!
But I love him.
Love. Yeah.
I'm keeping your pseudo dragon.
Perfect. Was my counting off?
I
He
don't
was
know.
probably figuring out his
I-
I had
message.
one more.
Two more,
Okay.
Damn.
I think.
Big love.
Yeah.
Big one.
You receive a response back, and it sounds very agitated and almost like nervous. Oh, glad to know you're safe. Keep the shard safe. We will send people to the Golden Anvil. Might be a few days. Ward 4. Rough.
He responded.
Oh,
He said he's glad that we're safe. Says to keep the shard safe. That they'll send people here, I presume, to acquire the shard. He mentioned that Ward 4 is rough.
that's not good.
That's about all he said.
Okay.
Did he specify what people were coming?
You didn't say what people, right? No.
We'll
No,
send people.
he just said we'll send people to. So I'm not sure if he's sending artificers. I mean, you would know your father best. I mean, I have to imagine whoever he's sending, he must trust.
It's just if we can trust the people that arrive.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that for now he is also safe, and it's troubling to hear that the issue with Ward 4 is getting worse.
Yes, I think Galleron's message may have exaggerated the tensions across the wards. Definitely did not help.
And he said to keep the shard safe.
He did.
Then I've created a sort of a holding thing for it. As far as I'm aware, it will at least keep it contained, and we can keep it in here with us. Let me go get it.
I'll run out and grab my little stand.
To this point, did Archmere you return as well to the Golden Anvil?
Oh. Big one. Thom is back home, but
Oh, wonderful.
turns out
What's
Timon's
what's a thumb?
what's a thumb?
Thumb.
Oh,
Thumb.
Thom is so there was somebody watching me work outside. It turned out to be just a little boy that lives across the street. And where's Timon?
Turns out that Thom's family is related to Timon.
Oh,
His father is an Ironbeard.
Oh.
oh,
And the Thorgan, right? We heard that name before.
Correct.
and I'm assuming he's there with them.
Seems like they're doing some family bonding.
Oh, wonderful.
That's good. Perhaps that'll get Timon's spirits up a little bit.
I wouldn't count on it. But perhaps,
He seemed like he could use it. He looked like he had a little bit of a.
well, perhaps his family has some good beer for him.
Perhaps.
I just before you arrived, I
We
actually.
go back there. They're both
Yeah,
smashed
they're
hammered.
so
like-
drunk right I actually, I was able to send a message to Sparkeye, actually, Big One's father. Let him, I mean, a very brief message, letting him know just kind of that we're here. We have this shard to let Harriet know of what's going on. And he told us to keep the shard safe and that they were going to send people here to the Golden Anvil. Actually, I forgot to mention, they said it would be a few
That was my
days.
concern.
So it will take a little bit of time before they get here, so we will have to keep a watchful eye on this until they do. I don't know. They didn't specify who. He just said they'll send. I have to imagine artificers, but I don't know.
Why are you concerned, Big One?
Oh, just that I trust the people that my father sent. It just if, with the issues going on in Ward 4 and the lockdown that was placed on the ward, and if something goes awry and those folks are caught or some information does slip out, we don't know who might arrive at the Golden Anvil doorstep, and I certainly don't want to give this shard to just anybody.
Have we reached out to Halfstep?
I didn't reach out, but I did tell Sparkeye to let Harriet know.
Perhaps those are the people that it will send.
I have to imagine. I mean, there's already, I think, tensions among certain people of the city when it comes to Miss Halfstep, and I don't think Alan's message helped that at all. So I'm sure she's quite busy and trying to perhaps be careful of where she goes and what she does. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know who will be sent here.
Speaking of dangerous situations, and you see me holding the stand, I need to get the shard
Oh, Hoku?
onto the stand. Is Hoku able to lift it? I think not. Was that a yes?
Was that a yes?
You get a brief telepathic vision in your head of him nodding.
Oh, he can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hoku's got this.
I don't know what will happen. I was able to. I will kill him. I was able to hold this shard with my electrosteel arm, and I've made this entirely out of electrosteel, so I have no reason to suspect that it won't be safe in this. But just to be sure, maybe everybody take 2 my size steps back.
I'm actually curious. This contraption, I guess it'll hold it. Is your plan to just have it out on display in this
It's
contraption?
mostly, I don't really want it to display it to everybody, but until I can find and perhaps study it a little bit more, it's just to keep it in eyes range. I don't know the saying. So we can see it at all times. because a bag can also go and get replaced or left somewhere, or I've left a few bags in different spots and was very disappointed when I found out I left it somewhere.
Just imagining Goku with his own little pair of goggles, some of yours like
Yeah.
to help you out like all this.
See, he's becoming mine.
Stop it! He is not.
You open the bag and
Yeah.
it kind of
Everybody
looks.
step back.
Goku like crawls over and looks inside of it.
I'll take like little tongs and just grab the fabric.
You pull it open and Hoku kind of like nuzzles down underneath it and then like coils his tail around it. And this time as he touches it, nothing happens.
Okay.
He like flies up with it with his wings.
Alright, now Hoku,
Calter, you notice that the crystal is glowing much less now than it was when you first found it.
Oh, no.
It's not in the liquid anymore.
okay,
That's
now
Hoku.
Hoku, as you can see, there's four little, just gently put it in and it will kind of click into place.
Holding it, like flies over, like puts it down and the like little clamps kind of
Yeah.
like come up, grab it. And then he just curls himself around and just like lies down on his like haunches and is kind of like resting and sleeping just around this like stand.
We did it. Oh. Okay, now, I don't know if we want to leave it here or perhaps I can pick it up and put it on the mantle over there so we all can see it. But definitely nobody touch it.
Except Goku.
Oh, yes, it doesn't seem to affect Hoku right now.
We probably want to make sure that it's not visible from windows.
Yes, for sure.
Or anything, especially, I mean, it's basically always night in this ward.
Yes.
So I have to imagine this is easily spottable.
There's a faint purple glow in the entire room.
Yeah.
basically.
Also, I mean, you may already be aware, but this is definitely not glowing as bright as it was. I don't know if that. I mean, you mentioned in the
Yes,
book you had.
it seems the way the shard was used was it was contained within some sort of liquid, and that's how the power was.
You mentioned something about a feedback loop. that was able
Yes, that's
to
how the city was
cast
essentially
into
made.
itself, and I guess it's not doing that now.
Now, one last thought. We talked about it last night, but if the energy is fading from it, there is reason to suspect that it might eventually completely
Yes.
snuff out. Should I touch it?
What will that do?
Well, as mentioned
Vision.
last time, I got hit with quite a few different visions or images, and perhaps there's more to be seen and to try and understand. If it fully runs out, we might not have that opportunity again.
I have some healing potions in case you croak.
Oh, I actually didn't really feel that different, other than you mentioned that I was kind of, was it stunned in place?
We'll just have to consider that this is what Ward 3 was using to power the climatology building.
Yes, it's very true.
I think it's also important to remind you that Arkmir tried to connect with you and heard screams.
Oh, that could mean anything.
Oh, I connect you now to still hear
Well, it's just something perhaps to consider. If we notice that it's getting very dull.
I mean, they also mentioned that they would cast spells into it to power it. Did they mention what kind of spells?
Well, that was the Arcanist that tried that, right? Yeah.
That's how they used to use it before
Yeah.
the feedback loop was
Yeah.
invented.
I believe it was actually the people that use arcane magic that would try and feed spells into it to run, but I believe based on the notes that stopped working a long time ago. I'm not sure. Again, these are all just ideas and thoughts, but again, if we notice that the power is essentially going to run out, perhaps we try a few things. Especially if we're going to lose possession of this in a few short days.
Get as much information as we can.
And you mentioned that you might be able to protect yourselves in a bubble.
True.
Well, we don't need to do that now. I have a lot of work to do. I have a few small projects that will help me with our bigger project, and I would like to get started on that bigger project as soon as possible.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to go set up my workbench, get some material in place, and begin.
I'll just grab my huge sack full of like metal things.
It seems like we're going to be here for a few days. I'm going to start cleaning up the place a little bit.
Before I start, Arkmir, can you help me carry this bushel of apples to my workbench?
Just juggling them over. Question: how far is the mushroom lounge from here?
You have no idea. I don't think you've ever been to it. You've never seen
Just
it.
been told about it a lot.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I thought we would have had a sense just from
Walking around.
the people that we met. Okay, so we don't even know where it is.
You know it's in Ward 3.
Yes.
You don't know where it is.
Where?
We can ask Tom.
Thumb.
As
Or our neighbor.
as we begin some of this downtime, we're gonna take a little bit of a break and come back in about 5 minutes. It's a bit of a late break, but we will be
That's
right
okay.
back.
All right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
and welcome back.
Hello.
So, over the next few days of blackout-riddled city, Ward 3, what are y'all doing?
I got some projects to work on.
I guess we can kind of go around and say what people wanted to do, and then I guess if we want to like spend time on that.
It'll be probably like 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, kind of depends. So anything that you want to get up to, any sort of downtime stuff you want to do during it, if you need help filling it out, if you want to jump into what other people are doing, you can.
Let's go around this way. Mike seems to know what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
The big one.
Well,
Introduce yourself and
Hello, my name is the big one.
No, so during this downtime, I'm dying. I inherited 2 new things when I leveled up, but for flavor, there's 2 projects that I would like to work on. So the first one, if the camera's like zooming in on me doing the little overhead thing, you see the big one open his sack, and if you remember when we left my shop for the second time, I put a half-finished project in there. This is a board. So I am going to finish creating my homunculus servant, which is Hoku inspired. No, not at all. It's my little board servant that will help me do things.
Is it an owl?
It's an owl, and Dad made it so when he's with me,
awesome.
That is pretty
I'll take
cool.
pictures.
Yeah, I get pictures.
What?
That's sick.
So I'm going to finish
That's
him.
cool.
So
What is that,
he was
like
kind of
that?
half completed, but taking notes and inspirations of when I finished the little one and seeing how he works and things like that. I'll know to put little things in here. He doesn't require the gem or anything, so I just little touches, things like that. Finish him up.
Put them together.
Put 'em
comes
together.
alive, start flapping around a little.
His head turns. Yeah. Oh, this is wonderful. Do you see this, Professor?
How does
Oh,
Hoku
but
respond?
now we need another name. Well, we'll show Astra soon, and perhaps we can come up with another name. But for now, I will call you the littler one.
So that's project number 1. That probably doesn't take too long. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I'm
already half
mostly done. It's
Yeah.
probably like another few hours of work. Maybe the rest of the day because this day was already.
And then the second main thing that I would like to finish up, whether this takes the rest of the first day or into the second day, is I saw some things at a couple stores. I've seen some notes of my father's, and taking inspiration from when Kelthir makes my eyes all black, I am going to create goggles of the night with my goggles.
Yep.
So I'm going to infuse my goggles. I'm going to do some little tinkering, add some wires here and there, and then I'm going to be like, and press a button on them, and they're going to gloss over black, and I'm going to put them on. Oh, it worked! Oh, and I'm going to jot some notes down.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, shit.
Maybe it would.
Maybe it didn't work. God damn. I'll just get rid of this infusion now, I guess.
It'll work.
Imagine like painting the goggles black.
What did you say, Arcana? 21.
Yeah, you manage to make it work, and you put it on, and you start to look around. They seem to work perfectly fine.
Oh, this is Kelthir? Oh. And then I'm going to get started on the main project, whether it's like roll out the blueprints, get the notes going, start getting some of the stuff that I can control, like without the iron smelting and all that, start getting that all work. But for now, like...
So, on the subject of the main project,
Okay, oh boy.
how are you building it?
Yes.
So, the main component of it is a repulsor cylinder.
Yes.
You have one? So,
I think we
We
still
had
have
one.
it.
We had a.
did you bring it with you all the way into Ward 3?
I mean, I don't think we would have left it.
I
if
think we
they-
brought
Okay.
everything that we were going to need for
We
the
also
project,
we also
right?
wheeled
It
the
was
cart.
our
Yeah,
cart.
we
Yeah.
originally...
Did you bring the card?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought like everything. Like I
would-
mentioned
then
that,
that would make sense. Yeah.
I mentioned that I was going to bring like extra electro steel, all
Yeah.
my tools, all that.
Yeah.
And I think we just chucked it in the cart.
All right.
Because we got the passage on the note from Harriet's dude that says like they won't question us when we wheel this cart in.
Yeah.
So you need, in order to like work on it, you
Yeah.
need like 2 more components, and then any repair that you want to
Yeah.
do to the actual repulsor.
So there was a few things that we had talked with Harriet's. I can't remember what you called them.
attaché.
Attaché. There was a remote part that I had requested,
Yes.
and some. I believe the other thing was a spider-like part, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like the concrete
Yeah.
legs that kind of are used to keep the rift and ring like fence
Sure.
up.
Did that get met? And is it at the golden anvil? If not, I will start on repairing
Make a persuasion check, just really quickly.
persuasion check. 13.
Okay, make another one.
Another same thing.
Another one.
That's not good. 7.
You do find that in the like big box and barrel of things that had been sent to you, you find what looks like a remote trigger mechanism. You actually recognize it as being very similar to kind of the device that had been on the bomb.
So the thing that I saw calmed for half a minute
Yes.
and then freaked out. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll spend a good portion of time making some notes. Sorry.
You also do find the like cement like boring legs,
Okay.
but they're too small. Like,
Okay, so
they
I'd
didn't
have to
really
make
know
some-
exactly what you were looking for. You
Okay,
just
that's
asked
fine.
for it, and then you would need to make some adjustments.
Sure.
And,
So I think
like,
the first
redo them. Basically.
First order of business would be to repair the thing we already have as
Okay.
best as I can. So that's probably going to take some time. And then I would want to find a way to add the remote trigger onto it, and then getting the legs sturdy to hold it and dig in that'd probably be the order I do it in.
All right. So for the first part, let's start with either an Arcana check or a Artificer like tinkering tools like
Probably
check, whatever
the
are.
tinkering
Or
So
tools,
I
yeah.
was going to really quickly here before you do the rolls,
Yeah.
while working on the main project, Counselor would have wanted to try to help
Yes.
in
Okay.
both aspects of it, both in the tinkering side. While he doesn't understand tinkering, he's fairly intelligent, so he thinks he can learn.
I mean, if you're
what
around the
things
shop, I'd probably be talking
Um,
out loud and reading my blueprints and stuff to you.
Yeah,
So.
and then on the blacksmithing smelting side, like
On the
he's
blacksmithing side, I think Tymon would have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
No, I
definitely
can't.
he
I
would be
can't. I'm
doing
not a
that.
blacksmith.
I
so,
just mean
yeah.
that he would have also wanted to help on that because he's not an expert at it, but
Yeah.
he's done that before. Like he has some
Yeah.
experience with. He made his weapon, so
Yeah.
and his like armor and stuff. So
Yeah, I think for like cleaning it up and fastening the thing on with electro steel, that's the part of it. But yeah, anything that is, I'm gonna come to you and your new uncle. So yeah, so you want me to make the first roll?
So for the
And
first
then is he
roll, yeah.
guiding me? Is that what it is, or
no,
advantage?
we would advantage.
Okay,
I assume you have better Arcana than I do, or tinkering.
I'm gonna use the tinkering thing because it allows me to use. It's still not bad. 16.
Yeah. You're
So
able
that's
to
cleaning up, yeah.
you're able to like fix it, but it was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
It's been many like years out of service.
Yeah.
You do find something interesting while you're repairing it. As you're kind of taking it apart and replacing some of the panels with the newer sort of like plates that either like Timon has worked on or you managed to like scrounge around.
Yeah.
You find that deep within, almost like the center of the device, is a small like cylindrical like glass vial, almost like a glass cylinder, filled with a sort of strange purplish liquid.
Atrion flux or something?
Flux reservoir.
Yeah.
Flux reservoir, yeah.
And it's still intact.
Yes, it is still intact.
Do I know if the blueprints call for any of this of what I'm making?
As you spend a little bit of time kind of going over the blueprints, you do notice that there is a small container like labeled in the blueprints, and it's just blacked out. Like there is a spot in it where there are no details on this blueprint.
And do I know if this blueprint has ever successfully been made? Like, is the big one reading this and being like, this needs to be there and they forgot about it? Or it's been removed thinking they don't need it?
You have no idea. The blueprint was something that Linda found and then made modifications to and gave to
So
you.
they
You
may
have
have
no
overlooked
idea.
And then Sparkeye made more adjustments.
Sparkeye made more.
So they may have not dug this deep or overlooked
Well,
it.
I think Sparkeye was mostly, he didn't make any adjustments. He just told you that one of the adjustments that Linda had made was unnecessary.
Oh right, yeah.
So it could be that. Is there a way, like, he's not going to do it if it looks like any tinkering he can make will destroy the vial and fuck up the contents? But is there any way that, like, I can, like, just click it out and look at it.
Anything green that you make has a chance to destroy the vial.
Then I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to make lots of notes about it.
Okay.
I'm going to add notes to the book that my dad had.
Okay.
I'm going to add... Yeah.
I could try asking your father.
Oh, if that's possible, do you mind taking notes? You seem to be a very good...
Been taking notes the whole
Oh,
time.
wonderful, because I feel like I'm going to overlook some things, and I write really fast, but there seems to be this... If you come look, and I'll grab my magnifying glass, there seems to be a little vial in there that seems to at least resemble the same type of liquid that the shards seem to be in. So, if you look at the blueprints here, and I'll just go over how, like, I don't see it, but then this is blacked out, and
Yeah.
perhaps
So,
he
like-
knows?
Yeah, the blueprints, it's pretty obvious that there is no discernible information about this thing.
No.
Okay.
It's just where the cylinder would be. Like you follow the blueprints and you like look and compare with what's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like a black box.
Right. I could try asking Spock Eye
Oh, that would
for
be
some
wonderful.
clarification. Yeah, I'll cast sending. Again. Is this still? Are we in the first
No,
day or
it's
the second day?
This will
It's
probably
probably,
be
like,
into
third
this,
or fourth
yeah,
day.
this is
Okay.
what
Okay.
I'm doing over the
Yeah.
course of 4, 5,
Okay.
6 days.
Okay,
yeah.
so we may be going forward and backwards
Yes,
in time as
yes.
we hop to everybody.
On the
so
third day,
this-
you're helping.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
let me. So I'm gonna cast sending
Oh,
to Spark Eye, and just say, building device from blueprint. Found small glass cylinder with purple liquid. Should we leave or can we remove?
big love.
Big one says hi and loves you.
You get a response back almost in like a little bit of a rush, like
Who's he
hurried.
sleeping with?
It just says, no. Leave the vial. It's important. It won't work without it. Tell the big one I love him.
Oh,
He says
And stay
"Take it
safe."
out." No, I'm just kidding.
no.
He seems to be very adamant that we leave it intact.
Okay.
It appears the device cannot function without it.
Well, then I'm just gonna close this little trap.
Yes. Yes. He also says he loves you back.
Oh, I love you. Oh, well.
Alright, so that was step 1 of fixing it up as best I can. There's going to be dents because we all know that's what makes it all perfect.
Alright. We'll come back to you.
Sure, yep.
Anyone else want to? I guess Timon, what are you working on for these next few days?
The main project that Timon wanted to do was reforge Stonebreaker. So he approached Thorgan and starts to build a little bit of trust with him, I would suppose. Letting him inspect Thunder a little more closer and not quite letting him chip away at it, but like letting him like compare and take notes and study the metal or heat parts of it, but not quite smelt it. Just to see its properties. And then he kind of wanted to try to get a little bit more insight on how electrosteel works and how he can mold that metal and how he can, how, like, what skills and tools are used that are different than using iron, which is what.
I think the first thing that he teaches you about working with electrosteel is that you actually need to keep it cold, as opposed to what most forging would be like. You would end up needing to add heat. You would want to mold electrosteel almost in like room temperature, not heating it too much. Shaping it almost by like cutting like small pieces off. It's strange. He uses this like sharp electrosteel saw like structure, almost like he's cutting wood, but there's something about it. As he cuts, there's just some technique or something that he does, and he's able to cut through metal almost cleanly with it.
What kind of tool is that? How do you do it?
It's Magitech. Everything in this city is Magitech. Here, give it a try. And he like hands it to you. You can feel it almost like vibrating almost at like a very fast speed. You like put it against like the electrosteel and like you start to cut it and it cuts like a small piece off. You use this to shape the piece of metal into how you want and then build the iron around it. Build everything else to support it.
Oh.
Instead of hammering and melting and forging the electrosteel into what you wish, use the electrosteel as the bone of your sword
Almost like
and
a
build
core.
around it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I have this little project. Let me get my backpack, and then I empty the backpack, and there's like
There's just shards of rock.
a solid ball of
Yeah.
rock,
Mhm.
poof, and then a bunch of shards around it. I mean, if you've been to the Blue Hammer, do you remember Stonebreaker? Used to be on the wall.
I do.
That's what's left of it.
Don't know what you hit with that. But
I mean, Stonebreaker got stone broken.
no. You want to fix it?
I want to remake it. I have an idea.
Alright. Tell
So-
me your idea.
It's really important that these little pieces stay close to this big hunk of rock that's still solid, and you see the rune markings on it. It's really important.
Mhm.
So I was thinking of adding this as an admix to the metal. So what I was thinking is that we can get either iron, and I have a few maces back in the other shop that I can use as material, but either iron or electrosteel to essentially like make a hammer around this solid stone core
Mhm.
and then remake it.
That could work.
By the way, have you got any cobalt or lapis
Lazuli.
in the store?
Got some lapis lying around. An old commission of mine wanted a fancy jewel in one of his breastplates.
Oh, I just want to use it for the signature, you know. It takes a little bit of lapis.
Yeah, sure. I can get some lapis. I'll have to find it, but tell you what, you get to work on this. If you need any help, let me know. I will just go and look for this piece of lapis, and you can get started.
Alright. So he grabs all the little shards, put it into a container, gets like a heavy hammer, starts crushing it. And he crushes all to like a fine powdery dust. Then he, I guess, given that this is over a period of time, he goes to fetch the maces.
So,
Takes them
question
out.
for you.
Yeah.
Was the maces going to be used for the main project? Or did we have other
I think there's a bunch of
Okay.
other.
The entire cart is made of iron out of
The
iron.
entire cart's
Okay.
out of iron.
Because at the time when we got some of those, like the axes and stuff too, we're like, we might need this. But yeah, do you? If we got lots, it's all good. It's
Yeah,
like, let's
that's
I
start
mean-
using it in case.
I'm guessing that I need maybe two
Yeah, 2 maces at most.
at most. So and then so I really want to like powder the shards of rock, and then disassemble the maces and basically smelt the iron back. And then as I am smelting the iron, I want to like put the powder in it and mix it up so that it kind of incorporates with the metal. And then cool it off and then start working it. Basically, I want it to be like one heavy block with a hollow middle.
No.
and then the hollow middle, like warm it up just enough so that I can like put the stone core in the middle and like hammer it down.
Yeah. It'll take you a couple of days to work on this, but let's make a.
And then I want to see if Dorgan can help out or if he can like incorporate
make a smithing tools, like blacksmith tools check with advantage.
What kind of
Probably your dex
check
plus
is it?
proficiency.
Dex?
We can go dex or strength or probably dex or strength probably.
Strength.
Yes,
I
sir.
think those
Makes
would be the
sense.
things that make
Plus
the most
10,
sense.
whatever you roll. Because your proficiency is now 3. And a double proficiency.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
Not too bad.
It's
So
good.
that or that plus 10. 22.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It's pretty good.
I could have rolled 40, but I got 22.
Yeah.
Torgan, as he's like watching you make the hammer and like build the entirety of the hammer with like the hollow ring in the middle, he tells you to hold on for a minute, and he goes and grabs. It seems like an old electrosteel bracer of sorts, like an armband almost. He's like shapes it a little, begins to like cut it, like smooths it out to make it like a perfect ring of electrosteel, and like places it into the middle. He's like, this should help. I think this will help. If there's ever any sort of magical enchantment that you want to do to this will help make it a little easier to take.
All right. Well, thank you. And then so he spends most of his time just making sure that the stone core is there in the middle. He will obviously needs to heat up the metal a little bit again to kind of like shave it a little bit around it to make sure that it's well enclosed and it's not going to escape with impact or anything like
The
that.
electrosteel, as you do this and you like heat up the middle, the electrosteel kind of like molds around it also to like give it like almost like a ring around it that's like holding it in place,
Nice.
and melts in with like the iron around it.
And then for the handle, Diamond wants to, instead of using like a wooden handle like the old Stonebreaker had, he wants to make one out of metal. So perhaps using a little bit of electrosteel in the center of the handle, but basically he wants a handle that kind of has a, what do you call it, like an area for like the handle area, which is
The
kind of
grip?
separate. Yeah, the grip. And then beneath the grip there's a pointed pommel. And then on the other side and the other, like across the head, there's a little pointy end as well. Like
It wouldn't happen to look like that, would it?
it will happen. It look exactly like that. And so spend some time like adding some like details and runes around it and stuff. And then on the pommel, he wants to essentially put the little the tiny lapis mark of the blue hammer on it.
Ooh.
Signature.
Did I see a different name for it?
Gem in there.
Yeah, I was
Maybe.
just looking at that too.
And Calthers.
He named it after Arkmere.
Alright.
Stone.
And
It takes you probably the better chunk of your entire week, like with helping the big one out occasionally as he like walks over and asks for like a few parts.
Don't be too bro.
that's alright, Legolas. It's alright. What do you need?
Oh, yeah, this.
Alright, let it come in.
Just in small parts.
In about 5 or 6 days, you have finished reforging your hammer.
Nice.
And then I come back, drenched in sweat with apron on and so like happy and proud.
Before you leave, Torgan kind of like claps you on the back. And it's like, well done. You're quite a good, quite a talented smith yourself. I don't say. I'm sure your father never told you that, but
You're right about that. Never really told me that.
he can be hard, but I'm sure he knows.
Thank you, Uncle. Never expected
Papa.
this.
It takes being away from home to know
To appreciate.
to appreciate it.
Do you miss cornhole?
I do. But my home is here now. And as he says this, Tom Buran just like runs down the stairs, almost like trips over the last few steps, falls face first on the floor. He like gets
Slow
up, like
down,
holding his arm.
lad.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Slow down.
Torgan just kind of laughs and like walks over. And, like,
Uncle Torgen, if you need anything, you can count on me. You know where
I
to
should
find me
be-
for now.
that should be good. This strange business here in Schema and War 3, it'll pass. The artificers are they're too strong. They won't. None of the other. Honestly, if anybody in the city went out of line, the artificers could finish them in a few weeks, at most.
You seem to have a lot of faith on them.
Yeah. They're not always. Let's just say they're not always the wisest of the bunch, but their heart's in the right place. They
Alright.
can make some questionable decisions, but they're always trying to do the right thing.
Alright.
I love how he said that. My wisdom's 10.
I mean, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be alive here in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. Your boy, when we met him, he said something about a red sword. What is that about?
I make a lot of strange things. This one noble, fancy pants from Ward 2 came by a few months ago. Commissioned this very expensive sword made of a very specific type of metal. He brought the ingots. I didn't even know what it was, to be honest.
Interesting.
I tried to skim a little bit of it off to research myself, but honestly, it was hard enough to work with. I could barely melt it. It was cold to the touch, frozen cold, but I could still barely melt it. I don't know what the that was.
Never heard
It made a
of
hell of
that.
a sword.
Sounds impressive. Do you know the name of the commissioner?
Make a persuasion check.
Nope.
He's too tired to persuade.
I don't think I can tell you that. You know, information, especially in this ward. You know, if you go and tell that I worked for something that somebody else wanted, that
I was just gonna say, it's like I was planning on asking the same thing.
okay,
Watcher, can I try to persuade?
yeah. We can say that you're there for
Yeah.
when that question
When this
happens.
happens.
Oh, he came to check on you.
This is terrible. I'm gonna roll this there.
You're like, come on.
Yeah. That was a nat 1, by the way, but
then-
there's a 4 plus.
It's just like, please?
Yeah. That's a 12. I will hold on to this
Okay,
guy.
it's it can be. The reason that I feel a little safe here is because I know I have friends in Ward 1 and friends among the artificers. They'll watch out for me, but I also tend to lie low. The Vandalists don't normally, have any reason to come for me. But if you tell someone else or somebody finds out from somewhere that I made a sword for somebody who they don't like, then it's too much of a risk for me and for you, to be honest, to know that information. So.
Makes sense. Uncle, how can I repay you for your kindness and
Well, if you ever make your way back to Cornwall, tell your father that you met me and that I was a better blacksmith than him. And I'll consider your debt repaid.
Oh, that's gonna sting the old man.
Yeah, that's the point.
I'm your daddy now.
He told me to tell you.
Alright. Then I go back to the crew and I I present them the new weapon, like Simba is presented to the Lion King. Here, it's redone. This shall be named Stoneheart.
Oh,
Wow.
you named it after our
And nickname.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
No. You have a wonderful heart.
Yeah, that was the main project I wanted to work on, and then if I have time, I wanted to work on the main.
You can say that you helped out
Yes,
with him
sir.
on the things that he needs. Arkman?
I guess continuing at the shop there. Just asking Thorgan if I think you mentioned that he has also crafted some weapons, right?
No.
And do I see anything that's like a dagger? And are
You
those
can-
weapons also primed for?
They are
enchanting?
primed. Almost everything in his shop is primed for enchanting.
Okay.
There's almost nothing actually magical. But he says he knows people in Ward 1 who are usually like able to do it, and artificers in general like can imbue them with magical properties. Based on how good the artificer is, based on how good the craftsmanship of the item is. It'll still take time. It'll take like money. But they are very well crafted.
Is there anything like that are like bracers or gloves?
Yeah, you can find like they're mostly metal.
Right.
There's not much made of leather in general, but you can find like metal bracers or gloves, anything that you want to like get enchanted in the future.
Okay.
They'll cost you a bit. Are you looking for just like bracers?
Yeah. Interested in. I think the metal braces would catch my eye.
Okay.
Adds
So there's a few different qualities of them that you can get, and they all cost like varying amounts.
Okay.
The cheapest ones are about
free.
50 gold. The cheapest ones are about 50 gold.
Okay.
The second tier about 250, 300 gold. Third tier about 3,000 gold.
Oh.
There's
No, we don't have to
The
go
fourth
beyond
tier
that.
about 30,000
there's 8
gold,
tiers.
Oh my god. How many tiers are there?
and the fifth tier costs you about 100,000 gold. But these ones are
Bad?
like he doesn't even like have any up on display. He's like, I can get you them if you need.
Holy crap. Which ones are up in display up until 4th tier?
I didn't hate him
The third tier are
before.
available. The fourth one is like I might have some lying around somewhere, basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he has the first 3 tier pretty much like he shows them to you.
3 was what?
The
again?
first is
3 was 3,000 or something.
Yeah,
wasn't
the
it?
third one is like
250.
Yeah.
And then 50 was the first one.
Yeah.
50, 250, 3,000, 30,000.
And what is the
786
difference
thousand.
between them exactly?
So they definitely look a lot more ornate usually. The most basic ones are just electrosteel iron, like they're built. They don't have that much like ornate decoration, etching, like layers of electrosteel on them. They're mostly just like one layer. And as they get fancier, you can tell there's like more craftsmanship that's gone into kind of forging them, more patterns, more intricate designs, more like one of the bracelets that he shows you. The higher end one, it actually has like studded jewels like encrusted into it. Beautiful looking piece.
Okay.
You also do notice that like in some of the higher, more expensive ones, like in this basic one, it's all like electrosteel and iron. The second one, there's like mixture of like silver, like inlay and filigree in there. The third tier, there's like gold, like actual like solid gold like patterning in it.
Tier 5 is Spider-Man Goblin. Yeah.
Thorgan, is there any way we can negotiate on the price?
Yeah, it depends on how much do you have and what else you want to buy. We can throw in a few more of these.
$10.
What are you hoping to? What are you looking for? Like it depends on the type of enchantment that you're looking to do. If the enchantment that you're going to get done on this is something of a particular strength, you might want something a little bit more expensive to be able to kind of hold it in some ways.
Okay.
Tweeting.
No,
He's
looking
asking-
up
he's
that
asking the
particular
community.
thing.
Which one should I get, guys?
Chat, which one do you think Arkner should
Get in
get?
chat.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure.
Well, I'm curious is that third tier bracer might be a little bit out of my range, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do to help. What I can do in return to help bring that down.
Raise thumb.
Take the shell off my face. Gladly.
Grew one for it to be a master rogue. Just steals everything for you. He did say he's shifty.
He's already sneaking around.
Him as an apprentice.
Tell you what, I can give it to you for. Make a persuasion check.
Here you go.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Arkner still has all of Galaran's money that he didn't split with us, so.
5,000.
No, nowhere near that.
He's a couple thousand.
He's got a decent amount for sure. I have
Well, that was already
250.
7, but
2 gold and 50 cents.
16.
He like takes the one that's got like jewels and stuff embossed on it, and like very intricately decorated, and he like puts that one away. Let me see what I can do. He like goes back and like maybe like 10 minutes later he comes back holding like a box, and he pops the box open, and inside there's still bracers that they're just a little bit less ornate in some ways. I think these ones I can part with. They should be good for almost any enchantment at that level. Almost the same. Might be a little bit harder to enchant than the others, just because the channeling jewels are not placed on them. I think I can part with them for 1,500.
Do you have a recommendation for who to go see to get these enchanted?
If you want it done right,
Don't say
go to Clanko.
Well,
You want it done.
Okay.
If you want it done, technically any artificer should be able to do this. It just takes time and honestly materials and money.
I got you, baby.
But if you want it done right, honestly, he is the best there is at what he does.
We'll see.
Also,
Can you turn a metal ball white?
Probably.
he's usually looking for people to run little errands, odds and ends, jobs for him. Might be a good way to maybe earn some money and buy the better bracers here. If you want those instead, or maybe
How much are the better bracers?
let's see. Huh. That's actually interesting.
No.
How about we write up a little layaway agreement, you and I. I'll give you the better bracers with the jewels
This guy. ain't
for
really-
about 1,500 gold. But in exchange, you'll have to run an errand for Clanko. And tell Clanko that half of the payment of that can come to me in order to help you pay off the rest of it.
You've got
I know
my interest.
Clanko was looking for someone. Last time we talked, he said he had something outside the city that he wanted fetched.
I want to go outside
Alright.
the city.
Um.
We're level 5 now. We can.
Yeah. Let's get that drafted up.
We might die, but we can.
It's
You
yeah.
step out. And you
Do you have all the details, or will I need to go see Clanko?
Not yet.
I think you'll have to talk to him. All I know is he was looking for someone, and he came and asked me, and I was like, I haven't seen anybody. Yeah. So 1,500 gold now, and he gives you the bracer, and then
Ooh. Yeah, this ain't fucking Timon's uncle. Tywin Watt would have none of that bartering bullshit.
He's lived in
Timon would have
Schema.
none of that bartering.
None of that.
He's lived in Schema for 100 years.
Has he seen him in Clanko's?
Also, Quago's one of his best friends. So.
All right. I am 1,500 gold.
I mean, Tywin wasn't much of like a storefront
Yeah,
type
he
of
did.
guy.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
I mean,
Doesn't
you're
look
gonna
like
need
he-
Blanco's help to get these enchanted anyway, so it makes sense to kind of reach out to him and work with him.
Yep. Trying to figure out the easiest way to remove 1,500 gold here. It's kind of lame because it.
You can remove 150 platinum.
Platinum,
Aha.
I've got plenty of that.
There we go.
What's money?
That's what Kelsier keeps asking.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, thank you, Thorgan. I'll reach out to Clanko and let's we'll see how this goes. And yeah, I already just kind of pop on the bracers there. I want to head back to our neighbor of the Golden Anvil. Did we ever get that guy's name, or was he just some random
He was
old
a
guy?
half orc
Random
with
half
muffin
orc.
chops.
Half asleep old guy.
Oh yeah.
Alistair.
Actually no, maybe it was when I'm with Thorgan. But by the way, Thorgan, I've heard a lot of this mushroom lounge. Do you know where I can find it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss, really. If you keep following this down towards the central plaza, there's the big market that's set up in the center of the ward. I honestly don't know what's going on there right now, to be honest. You take the road that would lead out into Ward 4, but just take the second left, and then you just follow that along. The third right. It's
I'm just
there.
writing this all down.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
7 turns. Turn around, go back.
Do the hokey pokey.
It's a very large, ostentatious manor. Nothing else like it in the ward, to be honest. If you're in the vicinity, you can't miss it. You have business there? Or he looks at you, kind of narrowing his eyes.
I need to make sure that certain someone
I
is
just
okay.
want to make sure I'm not doing business with someone I shouldn't be doing business with.
I need to make sure that a certain someone is okay.
You hope to find out if they're okay at the mushroom lounge?
Well, do you know
Give
someone
it-
by the name Lyra Lovely? Loveless.
She performs there.
Lyra Lovely?
I do know that. I haven't been myself, to be honest. Like I said, I tend to keep a bit of a low profile. Let's just say, based on who you are, the Mushroom Lounge is either the most dangerous place in the world or the safest.
Take those odds.
One or the other.
Well, she may be endangered. So. I'll see what I can do.
I didn't hear nothing.
And yeah, I'm just gonna make my way back to the Golden Anvil here.
How far away were we from her performance on the
A few days,
Couple days.
Okay.
but then a blackout happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
Alright, Calther, what are you doing?
Actually, did you ever inspect General Griffin's sword?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
I was gonna bring it up.
There you go. Okay.
when-
Well, I'll wait.
yeah.
Spoily.
Actually, I would have jumped in if you were looking to actually buy a weapon.
Huh?
I would have jumped in if you were going to buy a weapon before.
Well, I think then I start off as I'm coming back to the house and I want to ask Calther. I'm like, Calther, what happened with the sword that Gallard was using?
I don't know.
Talking about.
oh, this? And I was like, this thing? Yeah. It's an interesting weapon. I spent a little bit of time just kind of looking it over. It has very unique properties about it. I actually wanted to speak to you about it. I don't tend to prefer swords, but I know you. Well, I mean, you have a rapier, I think, and daggers. This kind of falls in that realm. But it's quite interesting. Here, hold it for a sec.
I reach out.
Yeah.
Grab it.
I'll be right back. And I walk to the far side of the room. And then I just go, and it teleports into my hand.
Oh, yeah.
I attuned with it
Yeah.
over like the rest.
Cool.
That's cool.
It's quite interesting. It's not too dissimilar, sort of, to the weapons that you kind of create and are able to just keep manifesting. Except this is a physical weapon. But anyways, I have no use for this really. I don't care to use it. But if you wanted to,
It's interesting. I may not. I'll have to see if I want to use it, but I've been thinking if we do ever need to make Galerin seem like he still exists, I could use this.
Sure.
And yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty powerful weapon. So if you wanted to use it, it's up to you. It might be better than the rapier you have. I'm not.
You may just see me laying out now, like kind of the Gallard's clothing that I have.
It's like everything.
Everything. I have the eye patch. I took
You're
that
wearing
off.
the boots.
The sword is a little bit longer than you would like normally be used to.
It's a long sword.
It is a long sword.
I think I am
It
proficient.
would be much more of a strength-based weapon. It doesn't have finesse on it.
It does not have finesse.
You could sell it if you wanted.
To take down Griffin with it.
That also works.
Yeah. Anyways, feel free to have it. I'm not interested in it. I was curious. It's quite ornate. And it's got an interesting trick to it.
I'll hold on to it for now, and when the time comes that I feel like we no longer need it, maybe we can get rid of it for a little cash, and Kelly, you can have a little more coin to hold on to.
Great.
Coin that you do nothing.
Speaking about coin, at some point during like these days, Timon would come back and say, "Well, during our last incursion, I was able to retrieve 48 gold pieces and 200 silver pieces.
Great.
So I'm going to should split.
Oh, I mean, you can keep it if you'd like.
No, Kaltir, you need to have some gold. You might need it, friend.
I mean, I have
Buy
some.
something nice.
I like have a little person. Quite some.
Here,
Little
grab your pouch. That drop like what is it gonna be? Like 48 divided by 5. That's 9.
Sure.
9 pieces of gold and 40 silver. And hand it back to you. Here, lass, give you gold. 9 gold and 40 silver.
Comes.
Big one. Here you go.
Oh, you really
Nine-
did
nine
not
gold.
need to. Are you sure?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, thank you so
I mean,
much.
we were exploring together, so I think it's only fair. And then I look at him. I throw the money on his chest.
They're bonding.
Just gotta lock them in a closet together for like
Yeah.
6 hours and just let them.
There's very different ways of interacting with each other here.
You know, I was not impressed with what you did at. What was the guy's name?
Phasma?
Which one?
Can you not remember his name? The person that you left to die?
Oh boy.
Talking out of character.
No, I'm sorry.
Phasma.
In character.
I left them to die?
Was it not your idea to leave him in that room?
It was not locked. It was just the razors that were locked. You stole from him. You felt like you were in the right to like take his stuff and that you were in the right of it?
Given the circumstances, I'd
What
say so.
circumstances?
I think you know what we all went through.
We fought with the razors. We didn't fight Faznog.
And what helped with that?
What?
His armor. And I think if we're going to continue with this, I'm going to need that.
You have a very strange sense of what's right. I don't know what's wrong with you. Honestly, I don't know why you stick around, because it seems
Hey,
like you only are.
I'm not the one that's pointing guns at
money.
kids.
I didn't know he was a kid.
Well, you better think about that twice next time you decide, you know?
There's something wrong with you. I don't understand.
Timon, I've done nothing wrong with you, and I haven't, I've let you make your own decisions, and I'll respect them. All I can ask is that you do the same for me, but if not, I don't see us, moving forward.
Well, why are you here? What? You were a hired hand, and you got your money. What made you stay?
I've developed, some friendships here. Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm with my friends.
Well, there we go.
Don't steal in front of me. Not from honest people. Don't do that.
Honesty is debatable.
Only in twisted mind. Honesty is honesty.
I've met Faznog before you did, and seen the type of person he was. I have my opinion of him, you have yours, and all I'm saying is that you should respect mine, and I will respect yours.
I mean, he was a piece of shit. I did call him disgrace to our race.
The name of your next mixtape there.
On second thought, you have a point.
But that doesn't. If we steal from him, we are lowering ourselves to like.
Timon, I could say is we've each taken items from others that we have decided are not honest or undeserving their own way, but we've also respected those that we felt were kind and honest, like Palm, or you can say it, but even you may think lonely if you hear, or highly, depending on what you think, but even Thorgan, his house, he is a fine craftsman. He has all his armor laid out there. Did I do anything to disrespect that?
I didn't say anything.
Well, I didn't. And I'm glad that you had that opportunity to bond with someone you know.
Alright. I'll leave you to it.
Is there anything else that you wanted to do in your downtime, or
And then I
moving
stab time.
Yeah. Alright. Moving on to Astra.
So just two things. First one being, as soon as Astra has some like private time and she's away from everybody else, she's going to take her clothes off.
Yeah, she is.
And she's just gonna like search for any new markings on her skin because she hasn't really had a chance to since we started the adventure.
Make a perception check.
Can I have hope?
Yeah, it looks good.
It's like really just covered. Like...
Normal.
15.
Okay. Most of the markings and the tattoos and the dots are still there. You do notice that on one of them, almost like on your back shoulder, or your back right shoulder, there's 3 dots before. You can make out just the tiniest, like faintest line connecting the 3 now.
Oh shit.
Connecting them?
That line, you're fairly sure didn't used to be there before.
Okay. Does the pattern mean anything to me? Like, does it look like a constellation that I recognize?
Make a religion check.
This is the Big Dipper.
It's the worm constellation.
Ooh, 19.
On its own, no. But you do know that just below that, you have 3 other dots in a similar looking pattern, just slightly off center from it. You gather that if, based on the way that they're positioned and connected, they could potentially form the Cog constellation of Imbris. If they were connected, but they're not. The other 3 dots aren't. They're just dots.
The Tinker. Interesting.
It's just a tattoo of me.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, but
Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to do, like, she has her clothes back on, but every now and then, usually at night, she's going to be knocking and trying to communicate with the boy on the other side of the wall.
There it is, Morse code again.
Let's come back to that. Kelvir.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do in your downtime?
Well, obviously, I would have been assisting with the with kind of like that main device with the blueprints as much as I could. I also would have made sure. I don't know how this fits into the timeline of what we're doing right now. It was already kind of asked about, but the day that was mentioned originally for the Mushroom Lounge of Lyra's last day, if that was coming up, or like if we ever reached that day, I would have brought that up.
That day originally would have definitely come.
Right.
The city would have still been in blackout.
Yes.
If you want, you could have like made your way through the city to the Mushroom Lounge and see what's happening there. We can do like that quick scene.
So I'll come to that last then, because that might involve more people and talking about it. So there was there's a very brief thing, which is just like I would have continued kind of like cleaning up our place and making it more habitable, because it was probably like all like just thrown about and whatever. That's just whatever. 2 other things that I would have done though. One, I was kind of the first one I'd messaged you at one point about something that I was looking to make. So I would have been like kind of just trying to fiddle with like the electrosteel thread that I had, just to figure out like kind of how it works and everything. And then I would have, once I kind of got an idea of like, oh, okay, this is like how much like it can take and all that kind of, then I would have like made that patch that I was talking about.
Yep.
I don't know.
Make a tailoring or weaver's tool, like whatever those are. Check. With probably like your dexterity.
Do I have advantage on this because I've spent a long time learning this?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That would be 19.
Okay. You're able to make what you wanted to make, or
Okay.
a close enough facsimile of it. Yeah.
So then at some point throughout the days then I would have made that kind of just like in my spare time, like kind of like sewing this thing. At some point I would have gone, I would go, hey, big one. Something I've been working on. You were generous enough to kind of get the group gifts at one point. So I wanted to return the favor. Yeah, I mean, in kind of a personalized way. I felt that maybe.
Is it an apple?
No, I think you have a lot of those. But yeah, so I wanted to make you something that was kind of a little bit personal to myself, but also to you. So what you see is basically like a patch, like a fabric patch, and stitched into it is electro steel and like a silvery threading. That would be like my own threading that I have. And it would basically be, the silver threading would be of a rough kind of like symbol of Linvari, which is like the moon. And kind of like overlaid on top of that with the electro steel would be, I have no idea what the actual like kind of symbology would be for this.
It'd be sort of like a cog or a wrench.
Yeah, like a cog and wrench, like artificer symbology kind of like weaved in together with that. Yeah, I feel free to if you want to, you can
Just lift it up together.
feel free to do what you want. If you want that, I can always stitch it into something, or if you just want to keep that on yourself.
I have a great idea for this. Would you be able to stitch this into my cloak?
Sure. Yeah.
And I'll take out my purple one.
Okay. Where would you like it stitched in?
I've never had a patch before. I didn't go to Boy Scouts.
The best.
Perhaps just right in the middle on the back.
Sure. No.
Yep.
Kind of help stitch that in then.
And I am no longer going to wear the black cloak.
Okay.
What does it look like again? So it's the moon?
So it's like
Anime
I don't
style.
think
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has seen some of those symbols. Jared made some symbols. So there's a symbol that represents Linvari, which is like the goddess of the moon. I'll pull it up later and show you guys, but it basically kind of like it incorporates the moon. So it would be that in silver stitching on this like really dark, kind of like probably a really dark purple or blue. So that would be in silver, and then on top of it in electro steel stitching would be like the cog and wrench of like artificers, kind of like overlaid with each other. So that was the one thing. The other thing, because I didn't know we were going to do kind of like a thing of multiple days in one session. The other thing that I would have said that I wanted to do was read more into the stuff of the book. I have it here. I have not personally read more into it to try to figure it out, but I guess like I will do one check to see if I can try to discern a starting place for it without like giving away the whole thing, because I do want to try to figure it out.
Right. Make an investigation check. Also, can I see the notes so that I can find the starting one?
Yes.
Oh, this thing. Right.
Natural
5.
20 for a 26.
Okay.
Just give him
You
the
have a
answer.
pen? Or do you have one?
I have a pencil.
You better believe that when the big one owns the city, that symbol's going to be everywhere.
The big one's just gonna start preaching the moon.
Big one, what's that symbol?
The moon. Share it with the artificers.
It's gonna be a new mini made.
Yeah.
Just because of the patch.
Dad, I need a new one.
This is my clean one that I got, not the one that has arrows through it. I got this out of my bedroom when I was at home.
You need to make a custom 3D hammer for my game.
That'd be sick. Alright, cool.
That works.
Alright, I'll just put it back here. I'll look at it later.
It's about to be on the session anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, that would have been some of the time I spent there, and then yeah, the last thing that just bringing up again would have been mentioning to the group that I believe today is the day that we saw on the sign that Lyra was supposed to be performing her last performance at the Mushroom Lounge. I don't know if that's still happening given the turn of events of the ward, but did we want to go check that place out?
Yes.
I think we should
So,
have.
something to also keep in mind is drink.
Is that how you say your name?
So she told us to meet her.
The
at-
VIP room is
Yeah.
where the gabagools might be. I don't remember that part.
Well,
But she
that's-
told us to VIP room of the Mushroom Lounge.
That's the thing. Now that we know that the Guvandalas operate out of there, she may be. She may very
That
well
was what
be with them.
Thorgan
Should've
shared
never
with us,
named it
right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Assuming you guys pass that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
was gonna
also-
say.
yeah. That's
Pass one on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, Thorgan shared
Oh,
with
yeah.
us at the
What?
Goblin Breweries or whatever they're called.
The
Or
Goblin-
Go Vendalis.
Yeah.
Guvandalis.
Bagoo.
The Guvandalis
Yeah.
are in the Mushroom Lounge, and Drew may be part of one of them. Thorgan was also kind enough to share where the Mushroom Lounge is,
Oh, great.
but he did also seem to be concerned for our safety.
Man, this.
On that note, I wasn't there when he spoke to you, but I do agree that because of what happened with our little drow friend, I don't think we should go just one or two of us. Perhaps we should all go. But if we all go, is there a way we can protect? We have a key, but is that enough?
Question: how many days have passed?
It
now?
would have been the 4th or 5th day.
And in this time, still no one has come from.
No, they just said it could be days.
So you have noticed a few things, just like being out and about in Blacksmith Row and just in this this ward in general. The day before, so on the 4th day.
Wait, maybe interrupt.
Yes.
Sorry. As Kelthier, maybe this is more of a player question, or as actually a character question. Kelthier, are you able to reach out to Spark Eye again to get an update?
Sure.
I'm just thinking throughout the days, like if that's something that we can get an update on.
Yeah.
They're still not here.
Sure. Yeah, I guess on the 4th day then.
Yep.
First thing, it's like if we still don't notice anything has come yet, then I'll send a message. I'll use sending again to send a message and say it'll probably be pretty short. Yeah. Hello, Spark Eye.
Waiting.
Just wondering if there's an update on the individuals you mentioned maybe coming by regarding the item in our possession. We haven't heard anything yet. It's been a few days.
You get a response that says, having trouble in Ward 4 and Ward 3 getting reliable folks through. Working on it. Don't want too much of a show of force.
Yeah. Especially if half step's not wanted there.
So I'll just relay that information. He's working on it, the difficulties of Ward 4 and...
You would actually have said Harriet is working on it.
Oh, Harriet is working on it. Yeah, the difficulties with Ward 4 and Ward 3 are causing challenges. They don't want to send too much that kind of raises alarms of a large force coming for that. So I think they're trying to figure out how and who can be the right people for this.
So it seems for the time being we're stuck with the shard. Now we need to decide if we are comfortable leaving it here, which I don't know if I am. If we should bring it with us, which I'm not sure we should do. Or if we want to split the group and have some folks go to the Mushroom Lounge. I can certainly stay and work on the project. I mean, I'm nearing the end of what I can do to it, but
I mean, I'm not sure what everyone thinks. I don't know if we all necessarily. I don't think we need to go and speak with
We don't have
our
to do
friend
everything at
and
once.
them right now. I think this maybe is just seeing about if they're still operating, like if the Mushroom Lounge is still about, and if Lyra is still there or not.
Lyra's still about.
Yeah.
So on the fourth day, which as you would have been kind of walking about, you would have noticed a few things. At Faznog's down the street, you would have noticed a little bit of a presence of the Iron Cog for the first time since like a week. There would have been a handful of Iron Cogs just in Blacksmith Row carrying these like arcane torches, essentially. Probably only like 2 or 3 of them. You would have seen like farther towards the center of the city where there is this like market plaza, arcane magical lights were set up so that the cavern wasn't pitch black darkness anymore.
Right.
It seems like there were some concessions made, some sort of allowance for people to get in. The Iron Cog are more around, but you also notice just like in general, the streets are still fairly quiet. Life is slowly starting to go back to normal, but without Magitech, it's definitely different than what it was and than how lively it was before. If you walk down to the plaza, you would see like, especially towards the climatology building, you would have noticed like construction crews, workmen's crews, dwarves and hard hats and like all sorts of maintenance workers and stuff kind of actively working there. Yeah. Things are happening now. They're slowly starting to allow people in, or people have been made their way in somehow. As you walk past the central plaza, you take the second left and the third right. It is impossible to miss at the end of the street. A giant manor.
Yes, people are
They're just going to check out whether the place is even open. In the distance, you see this large, ostentatious, probably 4-story tall manor. It spreads out almost like 60, 70, 100 feet across. Like an old Victorian house built underground. It's very impressive, very garish, very well guarded. There's the wrought iron fence around it, and spikes at the top. Heavily armed and armored guards in scale mail armor with swords and shields standing in front of it. They're not messing around.
This is the Mushroom Lounge?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Gabagools.
The gate is currently closed. I'm assuming one of you walks up to like...
Well, I would have just looked to see. So the guards, do they have any identifiable attire to them? That like, are they all wearing the same thing other than scale mail? I mean, like symbology or coloring or anything like that.
Almost all in black. Both of them are wearing these like hoods over their face so that their faces are hard to see.
Have we seen anyone like them before, like individuals?
Yeah.
They look like a cross between, or make an insight check.
Can I be making?
You can also make an insight check.
19.
22.
Both of you can tell they look like grimmer, like darker versions of the guards that you saw in Ward 2. Like they're similarly armed and armored and attired almost like a parody of sorts. But in black and with hoods instead. I think I said swords. They actually have like spears, like halberds.
Spears.
Yeah, halberds.
Oh, okay. Do any of them have metallic bracers that are kind of cool?
Metallic bracer?
Like Drew.
Like Drew had when we
Drew.
first saw her.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
they do not.
So it's like you said the gate is closed. There does not seem to be any traffic going in and out of this place.
Do you stand there and like watch for a little bit?
I'm not just gonna stand right out front and just stare at the building, but like,
Just, like trying
Yeah.
to passively.
kind of walking
Yeah.
around the area while trying to just kind of like keep a side eye to it.
Just make a stealth check.
Fuck.
Can I assist on this if I'm with them?
I mean, I'm assuming
Don't
you're both
assist.
together,
Just
so just
try to be
make stealth
stealthy
checks.
because
Yeah.
I have.
Yes, help assist.
I'm assuming you both.
I
win.
guess it's, yeah. I'm just stealthy from there. Yeah, that's already a 21. And if I had that, yeah,
4.
that'll be 23.
Okay.
So my walk going stealthy and counter.
We're like looping, and I'm trying to do a side eye, but I'm just staring the whole time. Like,
Yep.
Just making eye contact with the guard.
yeah, with a guard.
You notice that as people walk up, the guards like ask them a couple of questions and then let them inside.
Mm.
It doesn't seem like it's closed. It's just under the appearances of it being closed in some ways.
Calter, it seems like they might be. They're already expecting us,
It's true.
and I think if she wanted, she could have killed me there, or hurt me significantly. The fact that she let me go means, I think at least that I think she just wants to talk.
Or at least us to talk to whoever she works for.
Yes, sir.
I think if we're gonna go in there, we're gonna want everyone to be with us. Unfortunately, I don't know if we're gonna be able to find out if Lyra is in there, and I don't know if we should risk going in there right now. I mean, they might know who we are at this point, or at least our descriptions. I mean, I feel like there hasn't really been too many other people who look like me, so it's probably pretty easy if they've given a description to point me out in a crowd.
Kelter, you hear a whisper from over your shoulder. You're not really doing a very good job of staying in the shadows anyway. It's a female voice, invisible from the shadows.
Oh no.
As I was saying,
You just hear a voice. I was talking in an alleyway.
Well,
I guess we're going this way.
to an alleyway.
You just go to the nearest alleyway.
Yeah.
And very momentarily later, just sitting on top of one of the barrels, just like leaning back against the wall. Drew reveals herself. Just you two?
I guess so at this point we've broken apart. We've scaled the building.
We were just looking to see if it was open, and then she found us.
I decided to drop by and
Yeah.
you want to talk.
Things are still a little bit hot. In a couple of days, things are gonna go back to normal. Their people they're getting worked for in line, in some ways. Maybe in a couple of days, there'll be a heavier presence here. Things will start going back to normal. Definitely have a lavish party the day of. Probably a good time to come pay your respects.
For or to who?
To the boss.
Who's the boss?
Mr. Miralar.
Oh.
Ezekiel Miralar.
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Wait
Why
a
was it
minute.
named Crystal?
And sons. And sons.
I have to say, you all put me in a bit of a pickle. You know, I was stuck in the city with no money, no real way out, no job, no mission, nothing. Kind of at a loss, and I found some work. They pay good, and maybe in a few weeks I'll be out of here, heading back home.
Can I buy that story?
Make an insight check.
Yes. Yeah. I want to know.
Make an insight check.
Oh.
Oh.
I trust him.
25.
Yeah, I trust him.
I will message you.
Okay.
You generally believe her.
Okay.
You both generally get the sense that you believe her.
The message like, don't believe her.
Yeah, you generally don't believe it.
Stab myself. Let's see here. Generally believe her.
Have you been working for or with this Ezekiel the whole time you've been here?
No. Came here as part of a. Let's just say I work for an organization. They sent me here, telling me that my job would be waiting for me in a certain tavern in Ward 8. Unfortunately, I never got my job due to, well, previous circumstances. And my job kind of had a deadline on it, I guess, so after a little while of trying, getting pretty badly hurt, by the time I'd recovered, I'd lost track of where you all had even gone. Got kind of desperate, looked around for other work, kind of helped me get back home.
What organization do you work for?
Can't really tell you that.
Well,
Not from around here.
what if we were looking for a little work ourselves? Do you think you'd be able to put in a word for us?
Well, I mean, with Mr. Marilar, or
No, with your friends who meant to get you this, and just kind of holding up that slip.
I mean, I've probably already failed that job, so I'm probably going to be in a bit of a pickle when I get back myself, but it's home, so
Where's home?
you probably have never been there.
Try me.
Far to the northeast. A wreck state by the name of Icefall.
And what brings you here?
Name drop.
The job. The job that you hold in your hands that I've clearly failed by now.
And you have no idea what these people have done?
What people? Oh, the list? To
Yes, the list.
be frank, I didn't even know there were people on it. I've never seen that paper. I've never seen what's on it. There are people on it?
If they gave you a list of people, what would you think to do?
They're the target. That's the job.
Then there's no question.
It's a job. It pays. They trained me. They raised me. It's a job.
I can understand that. But I'm glad this list is no longer needed.
Probably better I don't see it now, to be honest. At least I can say have plausible deniability.
You just like pour the.
You said there would be a celebration. Would there be any good performances?
I imagine Lyra Lovelace will probably perform. It is her home, after all.
I saw her name on a billboard. Who is she?
The resident
Billboard,
performer. She spends most of her time here, to be honest. I expect guests from all over the rec site to visit. If the Ward 3 is open again, I'm sure those who frequent here will be coming. And I'm not gonna lie, it might get a bit dangerous. Recently, many of the members who associate with Mr. Marilar have had a tendency of showing up dead. That's part of why I was hired as an additional scout, additional muscle.
And why does he want to meet with us?
Well, if you caused or you have information about the incident at the climatology building, I'm sure he's interested. I'm sure he wants to know exactly how the Razors managed to get so far into their turf, what they were planning, why they did what they did.
Sounds like we'd be risking our safety to go see him.
Yes. Could be lucrative for you. Mr. Marilar pays well. And he has what most other people in the city don't have. Information at a price.
Do you work with him purely for money?
Money and safety. I was worried that due to the failed nature of my mission, there might be a target on my own head as well.
Seems strange that. Just a player question. How much do I know about Icefall? So.
Make a history check.
Oh yeah. Three or five.
You've never heard of it.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna assume that this place is super far away, but I'm like, what is Icefall have to do with schema here?
Icefall has something to do with it everywhere. But I'm not really. I'm from Icefall, but I don't work for Icefall. My home is in Icefall. But I was born there, raised there, trained there. I don't work for. I have no allegiance to Icefall.
You don't have to say no
My
more.
allegiance is to my own.
I understand that.
Well, if you come back, I'm sure on the night of the big reopening, I'll be in the crowd.
So we may see you then.
Very well. Right. You all turn and leave. Make your way back to the Golden Anvil.
Question really quickly.
Yes.
In this world,
Mhm.
how, I guess, how rare are drow?
You haven't seen any others in Schema.
Actually, I do want to.
You've seen a few before, but you haven't seen any in Schema.
Just trying to remember on the list. Miller's and Sons. Was that wasn't crossed out?
Right. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
That was the warehouse.
It wasn't near the warehouse, but that's like, yeah.
Somebody wanted the head of the Golden Dollars taken out.
I'm not sure there's no. Drew,
It turns
What?
around, yeah.
what would you say if I told you that Ezekiel's name was on this list? I'm just waving the blank piece of paper around.
Her face goes like a pale, like purple lilac color. She like, really wish you hadn't told me that. She turns around and walks away.
Why? She's walking away.
She walks away.
We can help you.
Well, that was rude. I guess we start heading back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Group now.
Astra.
You.
While Kelpier and Arkmir are gone, you've been, over the past few days, occasionally you've been knocking on walls and trying to hear the word back.
You sound like a crazy person.
Astra would often come down and talk to the walls. Just
And
looking.
today you came downstairs to the main living area of the Golden Anvil. Timon was off working on his hammer. The big one was working on one of his projects. And you were all alone. And you knocked once on a wall. And you got a response back. The voice said, or the knocks said, "You found one. A piece."
And a pack. Yeah, we have it. It's safe. What the heck do we do with it?
Repair it. Reunite it with all of its parts. Make the Aetherion whole. Then bring it to a storm.
I don't know if you read my fucking brain, but and earlier in the stream I was like, idea.
Yep.
I just knock again. What's gonna happen? What's it gonna do to the storm? Or what's gonna happen in the storm?
You don't hear a knockback. As you look around, your eyes fall on the shard itself. And where the shard is placed was placed in like a corner recess part of the room. Above the shard, hanging on the wall, is a mirror.
Fuck, creepy. Fuck that. Break the mirror.
As you
Oh,
look
no.
in that direction, as your eyes fall on the mirror, you see yourself looking back at you. And the voice, your voice, comes from the mirror and says, "We can finally meet." You see the lips moving in the mirror
So
as
she's
though you're
midnight.
talking through it.
What the fuck? This is the first time this has happened, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna run up closer to the mirror and like try to look closely at my face.
As you run up and you get close, you just see yourself. The reflection is yours. You like close your eyes, blink, smile. Seems to mirror yours.
Hello? Hello? I'm just talking to myself in the mirror.
Yep.
What the frig?
Just Astra things.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit.
Well, Dex is -1, so that's cool.
Probably glance. Yeah, she probably glance.
Oh
at the
man.
shard.
I have -1 and I rolled a 1.
As you're rushing up to the mirror,
She hit the shard.
you don't even notice as your arm scratches itself on the shard itself. And you start to bleed.
Oh, good.
And your blood drips onto the shard. And it fades away into it. It gets absorbed.
It's wrong.
I mean, it eats everything. It's
only
magical
brain.
spells.
That's how they powered schema.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dead bodies.
Yeah.
You take 12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
It's a rest period. You'll recover it very shortly. As you get this vision of the tower and the tree behind it, and a figure standing on top of the tower, cloaked, looking back at you, looking down at you. Briefest vision fades away again.
You're just like cutting yourself.
You notice that the spot where your blood had kind of gotten absorbed into it, crystal glows a little brighter.
Just kill yourself.
And that's a good spot to end the session.
Shit,
Yeah.
things got dark.
Yeah.
I almost wish you had that in like a one-on-one because I almost wish I didn't hear anything. Like I don't trust anything about you now as a player. I'm fucking thing in the mirror definitely is evil.
Oh, Stephen.
Do know.
Before we end, can I ask one
Yes.
thing? In the spirit of a few days, I actually wanted to come to Caltier.
Mhm.
Say, Caltier, would you mind taking a look at this gem? This was in the mech that Galeron was piloting. I was able to retrieve it before we escaped. Would you mind helping me look into it?
I mean, I can definitely take a look. I may only be able to tell you if it's magical or not. I don't know if I can tell you exactly what it is. I'll just cast Detect Magic. Let's see.
It is not magical. You gather that you wouldn't actually know anything about it.
No.
It looks like a very fancy jewel. Yeah, that's all you know.
It is a very large jewel. I'm sorry. It doesn't seem to be magical in any way. But other than that, I can't really tell you anything about it. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an answer.
Perhaps we need to take it to a jeweler.
Yeah, I'm sure they would be able to help you out.
Alright. That's it.
Alright. Well, we ran a bit long today, but
Yes, we did.
we managed to get our downtime done. And next week we can pick up at the end of the night, huh?
Where we bust into the mushroom lounge and kill everyone.
Okay.
Maybe Drew will help.
Drew is so fucked.
Maybe she'll help out and she'll be like, oh god.
Huh?
She's working with all the people she was supposed to kill.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes next week.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.